following is a special presentation of ESPN on ABC.
It's summertime on the Delaware Shore. The time between Memorial Day and Labor Day, always busy and fun. There are miles of white sandy beaches where you can soak up the sun, and summer revelers flock to its seashore attractions, the boardwalks and the hard-shelled crabs. Signatures of this eastern seaboard. We've consumed more than our share this weekend so far. Adding to the summer fun on the Delaware Shore, NASCAR, roughly 30 miles north of the beach near Dover Air Force Base, sits Dover International Speedway, where the fans also flock to see the thrills of racing at the Monster Mile.
T-minus 10, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ignition.
ESPN welcomes you to NASCAR Countdown. Today, the NASCAR Nationwide Series goes 200 miles on one of the roughest, toughest tracks around, the Monster Mile in Dover, Delaware. The nickname may have been started by race promoters, but the track has earned the right to keep it. Huge high bank turns, tight, narrow straightaways, and roller coaster transitions between them, all at breathtaking speeds that for the fans makes for an incredible day of racing, and for the drivers truly makes this a monster of a mile each and every lap. One of the elements that makes this racetrack unique, the horse racing oval tucked inside the stock car track. That's where you'll find our ESPN pit studio, and you'll find us horsing around inside. We welcome you to Dover. Alan Bestbrook along with Dale Jarrett and Brad Daugherty at one of the few places in NASCAR where the racetrack is not just the stage for the show, it's part of the show.
It really is. I wish our race fans could come who haven't been here and look at this spectacle of a racetrack. It is so difficult, so tough to get around this place. You got to cowboy up and hang on. It is unbelievable how aggressive it is.
It literally is a roller coaster ride. We're going down the front straightaway here. The front straightaway falls out and you fall down into turns 1 and 2. And then you can see a lot of throttle being used here coming out of turn 2 down the backstretch.
You're toting it down the backstretch, and out of that 1 and 2, a lot of the guys said it's like a falling off a 3-story building right into the middle of the turn, and you see you come off 3 and 4 here, and DJ, what do you got to do to get off 4?
Yeah, you got to drive right towards the wall, the outside wall, full throttle. You got to be in the gas a long time here. These guys love to race at this racetrack, but it's like nothing else that they race all year.
And a great look here at that 3-story fall. There are several 1-mile racetracks in NASCAR, but that's what makes this one different from the others.
Totally different than the others. This is 24 degrees of banking up to from the top to the bottom, and that's what makes it so different. Again, that sensation that it gives you of speed at this racetrack is what makes it so totally different. These guys love racing here, but it is a difficult 200 miles here today.
It's a monster, that's for sure. Now let's take a minute before we talk more about today's race in Dover and look back a week to the driver who stole the show in last Saturday's race in Charlotte.
Pace car pulled away, and they head to the green flag. Look at the rocket in the back of the pack, Kyle Busch. Wow. Everybody wake up. Let's go race.
Tell me, boys, we got a race for the lead. Let's got it.
Caution's out. Precipitation on the racetrack. If that ain't bad luck, I don't know what is.
This race has now been called complete. It is official.
I just want to thank all the fans for sticking around. This is a long, long day, and these are true NASCAR fans.
And I think after that, there will be a few more Mike Bliss fans in the house today. You know, people say that race was won on fuel mileage. Some will blame the weather or credit the weather. But you had to race that 62 after he got by you. Can you talk to me about that moment when you realize, you know what, I've still got to win this race driving?
Well, yeah, I mean, when they tell you you're on the lap of your own lap, and then the 62 just got the the lucky dog, and he was at the back. He got up there pretty fast. It kind of surprised me because I was kind of watching ahead to see what was going to happen. They were fighting pretty hard, and then they said, now the 62 is the leader. And we had a really good car, and I just went through one corner, and then I said, now I'm the leader. So it was good. But, yeah, if it would have caught me off guard there one lap, he would have won the race. But, it was a good race. Yeah, we did win it by shortened race, but we had a pretty good car there. I won't say that we lucked into it, but I've been on the other end of that race a lot and been the one that pitted and been down a lap, so I'll take that.
He raced his way to victory lane, and today he's going to be our in-race reporter. If you got a question for Mike Bliss, go to ESPN.com, choose the NASCAR section, and the keywords Ask the Driver work as well. Maybe we'll use your question. Alan.
All right, David, thank you. Bliss lines up today in 16th spot for this race, and Brendan Gaughan, who had that great second-place finish at Charlotte, he's got a good qualifying run here as well. He starts 9th in this run here at Dover. It was 1 year ago this race that Joey Logano made his debut on NASCAR's national stage just after turning 18 years old and becoming eligible to do so. It's been quite a freshman year for the young Connecticut native.
Happy birthday, dear Joey. Happy birthday
For 18-year-old Joey Logano making his first start in the series, very high expectation. This young man, Joey Logano, is very, very talented. Joey Logano holds on to get a 6th-place finish in his very first start.
He's been solid as a rock.
Joey Logano is the pole sitter.
He makes it look easy as he goes on the high side of Kyle Busch. The 18-year-old in only his 3rd start is going to win at Kentucky.
You are the man.
He has what it takes to be a driver, competitive at the Cup level for years to come.
Today, 18-year-old Joey Logano will begin his Cup career.
Joey Logano ushering in a new era at Jogies Racing. Youngest driver ever to start the Daytona 500.
Coming through turn 4 for the final time. The youngster is going to pick up his first win of the 2009 campaign.
Yeah, baby. This is the lad. Yeah.
I'm really impressed with what this kid's done.
Look at a pretty amazing 365 days for Joey Logano, and this day has started out well for him also. Qualifying late this morning, he turned the fastest lap and will be on pole position for the start of today's race. Joey Logano with Shannon Spake right now.
Alan, what a great way to start your 2nd year in NASCAR, your very first pole of the season. But let's switch and fast forward to the race now. What's going to be the biggest obstacle you're going to have to overcome to get that car to victory lane today?
Oh, there's always obstacles at the Monster. I tell you, this place is the toughest racetrack I think we go to. This place is it's a beast. So we'll see. You know, the GameStop Toto was really good in practice. It was one of the best cars I think I've ever had. And as long as it drives as good as then, I think we'll have a really good shot at winning this thing. So if we stay out front and have some good stops and be there at the end and see what we can do.
Alan, Joey was watching some of the video from the past year. He said to me, how cool is that? Pretty cool, huh?
Imagine what you were doing when you were 19 years old. I wasn't racing at Dover in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. What are your impressions of his freshman year?
I think he's been superb. The expectations by the media and all of it has been just overwhelming. But I think the biggest thing that Joey has in his favor is something I said earlier, is that he is just 19 years of age. I don't think he quite understands and recognizes all the pressure. He's doing what he has fun doing, and it's starting to show. He's 3/10 quicker than David Reagan today.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. And back to Mike Bliss for just a minute, DJ. What did that win do for he and his team?
A huge amount of confidence. Anytime a driver can go to victory lane, it really helps that confidence level go up. He's coming to a racetrack that he finished 2nd at last year, so he's really kind of on cloud 9 right now. And look for big things from Mike Bliss. This race team, it's a really good race team. And as he said, they ran good enough to be up in the top 5 and take advantage of that situation last year. It wasn't a luck last week. That wasn't just totally luck that they won that race. So look for big things for Mike Bliss today.
Bliss finished 2nd the last race here at Dover. That was last September. Still ahead on NASCAR Countdown, Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards, the top 2 in the championship, both with concrete numbers on the Dover track. I'll explain. We'll go 3 wide with Richard Childress, Clint Boyer, and Mike Dillon, mixing family and friendship with remarkable success on the track. And show you the new and improved pit road at Dover and find out how a few extra feet may make a huge difference in today's race. That and more on NASCAR Countdown from Dover.
Everybody sing my tan and old.
NASCAR Countdown on ABC. Brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, official auto insurance partner of NASCAR.
Dover's a very challenging racetrack and a very demanding racetrack.
It's like a roller coaster. You know, you drive down the straightaways, you kind of go over a hump and then down into the corner.
That place, I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love the racetrack. I feel like I get around there decent, but man, I've had worse luck there.
We're done.
The sensation of speed is unreal there. It's awesome.
It's a very fast, very aggressive racetrack. I think you have to really be aggressive there to get everything you can out of the car. You have to push the car to the edge. When you mess up, you'll know really quickly, and it's going to hurt.
It's a wild racetrack, and it'll get you if you're not careful.
Yes, it will. Another thing that makes this Dover track different from most, the concrete racing surface versus the typical asphalt. Clint Boyer has had great success on the concrete surface tracks in his career. Same can be said for Kevin Harvick, who lines up 5th today in the 33 car that he and his wife Delana own. Clint, Kevin, and Carl Edwards have been the concrete conquerors in the Nationwide Series, if you will.
And I think it's interesting. All three of these guys really push their race cars extremely hard. At this racetrack, you get a ton of grip, obviously, from the concrete. But if you talk to them, they say it's just another racetrack they love to run, but they've all had a lot of success.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to race on this, but there's not a lot of grip to be had out there. Radial tires and concrete don't really mix. These guys make it work.
Yeah, they're very good. So isn't Kyle Busch, who leads the NASCAR Nationwide Series Championship starting today's race. Kyle drives the Joe Gibbs Racing 18, the car that dominated last season's 2 Monster Mile races with 2 different drivers.
As we get set for the green flag, they had better respect the monster today. Denny Hamlin said he had the car to beat.
Great job, dude. First time in the 18 car, 1 ride, 1 win.
What a dominant performance by Hamlin here at the Monster Mile today. Kyle Busch driving the car that Denny Hamlin dominated with back in the spring.
Kyle Busch just too strong for these guys. It's been impressive all day long. An incredible race car and driver. That guy there was just totally dominating all day.
And it was certainly the 18 car that dominated here last September. Kyle's talking to Scott Speed here. Kyle, I talked to your crew chief earlier, and he said what makes you so good is you know what you want in the car at the end of the race. What is that?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it changes all the time. So, you know, the Food Lion Toyota's not bad today. Just was real out of the racetrack yesterday and didn't qualify that well as expected today. And Joey did a good job. So we'll just see what's in store for us here today at 200 miles and then 200 more.
Kyle Busch, one of 6 drivers in today's field, racing in 2 different races. He'll get in his truck after today's race. Dave Burns?
Carl Edwards is another one of those, former winner here at this racetrack. And a new racetrack when it comes to pit road, Carl. I heard you talking with your crew a little bit yesterday. Someone has an Aflac duck, very nice. That is going to get somebody. Hopefully it's not you, but how difficult is that to enter pit road now here? Or how different?
It's different. It's not more difficult. It's just different. So, or at least it looked different to me. You know, what they did was they extended pit road and they brought that wall around a little farther. So I actually tried to come onto pit road like I would have before, and I was staring at the end of that wall. So it's a really nice there and everything. But I have a feeling there'll be somebody that misses pit road. And I just hope it's not me.
If you make pit road, if you do everything right, how about the W today for you guys?
You know, this car is good. We've got the ortho.
There's a big ant on your car.
There are ants all inside my car, too. They're all over the seat and the roll cage. It's a little unnerving, actually, but if you have ant problems, it's the ortho that takes care of them. So those ants that are in my car, they're all dead. We've got lots of ortho. I hope we can get to victory lane. We just are having such a good points battle. We really need the most points we can get, and the best way to do that racing against Kyle is to win the race.
They're just 73 markers back of Kyle Busch at this point.
Nobody better at taking care of the sponsor in NASCAR these days than Concrete Carl. Check out those Nationwide Series Championship standings starting today. You see the 73 points between Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards. A lot of other guys hanging with those two, trying to keep it from being a 2-man race, but for the past 2 months, it has been only Kyle and Carl in positions 1 and 2. Kyle Busch had a lot of bad luck at the end of races, and agree or disagree, but if it wasn't for some of that bad luck, he might be running away with this.
He could be out there hiding, and Carl Edwards said exactly what he has to do, and that's to win races now. That's the only way that you know that you're going to make up points or have that opportunity to on Kyle Busch. So he's got to get on his horse, so to speak, and get things going. Jason Leffler's doing a great job there, sitting in third, just waiting for those guys to have some problems, and he could be right there with them. But as we look at Kyle Busch, he's the man to beat.
Yeah, AB, did you say might be running away with this thing? Let me tell you something. I don't care if we're racing concrete, asphalt, 3/4 wash stone, gravel, pea gravel. Kyle Busch is the man to beat every time he pulls those belts tight. The guy is unbelievable. Everyone in the racing world knows it. So when you see that 18 car up front, that's who you're chasing. That's where the bullseye is at. And I think he'll be the guy that gets out front early today. Joey Logano better watch out. He's coming.
Kyle lines up right behind him in row 2 on the grid. You were about to say?
I just want, who's he thinks going to win today? I'm sure I was totally clear on that.
The man to beat.
All right, we're closing in on the start, so we got to send you from our studio here up to the booth. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Talk to you very shortly. Carl Edwards mentioned the new pit road at Dover. It's been a trouble spot for a lot of years. A lot of chances to win have been ripped up by contact on the pit lane. What they did, they moved the pit lane out about 4 feet, eliminated that grass strip basically. So 4 more feet in the travel lane, and now 4 more feet of room in the pit stalls. There are now 43 full pit stalls, and each of those stalls now an additional 4 feet longer. So what does that mean for the pit crews and drivers? From our Craftsman Tech Garage, Tim Brewer can tell us more. Tim?
Thanks, Alan. That 4 feet in addition to the space that we had from 28 feet to 32 feet, that enables us to get around the car to where we can do our job. By the time the tire changers come around, change the tire, the jack man has the car up, we come around to the left side, get our work done. It gives the driver an opportunity to get back in the flow on pit road to get back on the racetrack. AB?
All right, Mr. Brewer, thank you. Now, even though pit road is 4 feet wider, I think we're still going to see some of this today.
Yeah, I agree. It could be 14 feet wider, and you're still going to see some of these things happen. And I agree with Carl Edwards wholeheartedly. I think you're going to see issues getting onto pit road today. Guys are going to miss because that wall comes out a little bit further, and it's just going to create some problems because it's the first time around. When we come back, everyone will be much more comfortable and be able to take advantage of those extra dimensions.
4 feet is not a full car width, so we're still going to see that
they'll
contact
eat that up, no problem.
on the pit road. Time for our J-Ski news and notes. Some things that have been going on this week. The latest chapter in the Jeremy Mayfield saga was Friday when Mayfield's lawyers went to court in Charlotte seeking an injunction that would allow him back into NASCAR competition. The immediate request denied. A hearing on the matter set for Wednesday. Dale Earnhardt Jr. with a new crew chief on the Sprint Cup side. Lance Perdue takes over that spot next week in an attempt by owner Rick Hendrick to get the sport's most popular driver back toward the front of the pack. And NASCAR held its town hall meetings with Sprint Cup competitors this past Tuesday, exchanging ideas on a wide-ranging number of issues. The car owned by Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Rick Hendrick in today's race, the 5 car driven by Ryan Newman today. Newman led all but 7 laps and won. The last time he ran a Saturday race here, he starts 6th. Another guy to keep an eye on, David Reagan.
Yeah, David's run real well in the series, obviously, this year, getting a win. We're looking for big things out of him today, as well as Ryan Newman. Ryan's a real stocky, powerful guy. I expect him to do well at this racetrack.
Scott Speed qualified 4th in the 99 car, but because of a mix-up the team had with the NASCAR sealed engine rule, they'll have to start at the back of the pack. You don't think they were trying to fudge the rules,
I knew you were going to get that in there.
A lot of motorsports coming up over the weekend on the ESPN family of networks. NHRA's in Topeka, Kansas, qualifying tonight, finals tomorrow on ESPN2. The NASCAR Now pre-race edition tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, ESPN2, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Gets you ready for the Dover Cup race. The IndyCar Series follows up on the Indy 500 with their race in Milwaukee tomorrow, ABC, 3:30 Eastern Time. And after today's race, the Nationwide Series on to Music City. Our coverage from Nashville presented by Pennzoil next Saturday, prime time, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Happy birthday to Clint Boyer, celebrating number 30 today, driving the Richard Childress Racing Chevy at Dover. Boyer and his spotter Mike Dillon can be quite the comedy show on the team radio. We go 3 wide now with driver, spotter, and owner.
I feel like, a good spotter goes a lot farther than just, clear high, clear low. And, I think he's a decent spotter.
I'm decent. Clint, I'm pretty sure you're out handling most everybody out here, too. I know you don't like what you got, but still, we're fast.
Mike and Clint were real solid on the radio. The thing, Mike tried to keep a little humor in it all the time to try to keep the pressure down, and I think that helped some.
Clint, you won't believe this, but all your supporters up here have left. Wait a minute, Big Brother's still here. He's eating a cheeseburger.
Well, it's too hot for Pop?
Yeah, I think he just got disgusted. A lot of guys wouldn't accept the way we chatter on the radio. But it works for Clint. Go on, baby. That's 3 wide. You know where you at. That's not baby like
usually
honey
like,
baby.
Come on, baby.
Come on, baby. That's kind of like, I look at it like I'm riding a horse. I'm cracking the whip. It's time to go, Come on, stay in the gas. Get you some. Come on. Stay in the gas. Let's go. Get down there. There you go, boys. Him and I both have a small case of ADD.
Probably same level of ADD, so we know when each other's trigger's been tripped, we can help each other out.
And that's where I kind of come in and balance the ADD, and that's hard to do.
Lay back and get a run. You know how to get it done, buddy.
He jumps in like a dad would with a couple kids You know, we'll get to going on. He said, you'll hear, all right, y'all need to focus. It's like, kind of okay.
He's always that calming voice from above. You don't ever know where it's at, but you know it's above.
Clint Boyer's hearing from the voice on high. Richard Childress on top of a hauler.
Good, killing them off the corner.
You got to have that respect for one another, and you know, we obviously have that. We tried it. We actually broke up for a while, and we tried it for, what, a year or so?
Yeah,
and
it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah.
We didn't go a year. We've never gone a year. We ain't gone more than 4 or 5 races, probably.
Yeah. Been a few races, and
he can't do it without me.
He can't do it without me. Mike Dillon, former driver himself with 154 Nationwide Series starts, working with Clint Boyer from that location atop the grandstands today. Finding that fit between driver and spotter can be just as tough as finding a driver and crew chief that click.
You're right. It's all about communication. And what I love about this situation is Mike Dillon does try to create a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of comedy during his spotting, because what happens, this is an extremely intense job, and he's a very competitive guy, as well as Clint Boyer. So he does a great job of breaking some of that up, and it creates gaps, creates space and time for these guys.
Keeping it loose. Let's talk about a couple other guys to keep an eye on in today's race. Brian Vickers, former winner here back in 2003.
Great starting spot, and Brian Vickers is always in the mix throughout the race. I want to see him get to the end of the race because I think he gives himself a chance to win if he can be there at the end.
Paul Menard continues to perform solidly in the Yates Ford. Not that they've got to turn it, or now they've got to turn it, I think, from a solid top 10 car to a contender to win.
Yeah, every time he's been in this series, he's qualified extremely well. You're exactly right. He's got to get this car up front, stay up front, and we could see Paul Menard in victory lane.
Others to watch, Jason Keller, one of 10 former Dover winners in the field, starting 13th.
Got a lot of starts in this series, closing in on 500. This guy's another guy, a lot of experience here, and experience plays out at this racetrack.
And Greg Biffle, a 2-time Dover winner, 2-time winner this season. We'll keep an eye on the Biff. There's Scott Wimmer. How about an underdog to pull for? Scott be a great guy today.
Scott be the guy to do it. Scott's a very talented race car driver. He's driving in a team that probably doesn't have all the pieces and parts, but they got a great race car driver. Maybe he can get it there today.
Starting 14th, pretty good there. And I mentioned Biffle. 2-time winner at Dover, 2-time winner this season in the Roush Fenway 16 Ford, lining up 11th. We will keep an eye on the Biff today. Coming back to Dover after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Where's my hammer and my Old Bay, baby?
The Dover International Speedway opened in 1969. 40 years later, a massive layout of some 140,000 seats, but at its heart, still one of the toughest tracks in NASCAR, the Monster Mile, today hosting race 12 of the NASCAR Nationwide Series season. No weather concerns today. It's a beautiful day here on the Delaware Shore, but some heavy rains here last night have led to weather-related concerns for the team where this concrete track surface is concerned in tires.
Yeah, they had some buildup of rubber, and that was great because it creates more grip for these race cars. But the problem here at Dover is that you put a ton of pressure, as we heard DJ talk about earlier, on the right front. And we see a lot of right front tire failures because of the lack of grip in that right front with these radial tires. So it's going to be an issue today. We're going to have to keep a good eye on these tires.
Tire wear expected to be extremely heavy at the opening part of this race because all the rubber was washed out of the concrete racing surface. NASCAR planning a competition caution at lap 35 to allow teams to change and check their tires, though some are concerned whether or not it will get to lap 35 in the race. Usually we have a caution before that. So Joey Logano set to lead this field off. Kyle Busch, the man on the roll, and again driving the Joe Gibbs Racing 18 car that won both races here last year and won it in dominant fashion. I don't think it'll be long before we see that 18 leading.
He's going to the front, and we also like to see Allgaier get to his front. He's starting 21st today, and it'll be interesting. This will be a good experience for him, being kind of back in the middle of the pack, having to deal with some of this traffic, and good young race car driver Roger Penske has there.
Looking to keep the Penske momentum going after their big win in the Indianapolis 500 last Sunday. So the weather is beautiful. The newly widened pit road at Dover set to be tested for the first time by teams. The weather last night setting up a little bit of a different doubleheader today after the Nationwide Series race. NASCAR's Camping World Truck Series has got to run their 200-miler that was supposed to be last night. Drivers like Kyle Busch going to run the double here, running all 400 miles. David Reagan set to go from the front row. Jason Leffler looking to dig his way up from 23rd starting spot. And trackside now looking to have the opening ceremony for today's race.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time would you please rise for today's invocation being presented by Dover Air Force Base Chaplain Captain Richard Rojas.
Let us
Let us pray. Our great God and Father, thank you for times of enjoyment. Thank you for the sacrifices of our forefathers and the service members making our American way of life possible. Thank you for the cross of Christ, faith, hope, and love in his name. Bless now this race day with safety and enjoyment. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
And please remain standing as I present for today's national anthem by independent recording artist and songwriter, 17-year-old Laura Manzer of Ashburn, Virginia.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Well, as these drivers begin to buckle in, they know they've got a big task to tackle today. 200 laps on the Monster Mile where trouble lurks in every corner. You're watching ESPN on ABC.
ESPN's coverage of the NASCAR Nationwide Series on ABC. Brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, official auto insurance partner of NASCAR. And Toyo Tires. Toyo Tires are driven to perform.
Almost time to fire them up on a beautiful day in Dover, Delaware. 200 miles of NASCAR Nationwide Series competition ahead. Jason Leffler, third place driver in points. Got a little work to do on the Monster Mile.
Yeah, he does. And I talked to Scott Zippindelli, who actually worked with me for a number of years, and he likes where they're at right now. He's a very aggressive crew chief, and this fits Jason's personality as well.
And another underdog driver you might want to pull forward today, Eric McClure, the young Virginian, starting 18th in the 24 cars. He gets buckled into the office and set to go. Now for the call of the race, let's go up to the office on top of the grandstands where Dr. Jerry Punch is holding ours, along with Andy Petrie and Dale Jarrett. Doc.
Thank you, Alan, and nice job down there, guys. Folks, it was almost 40 years ago that drivers first nicknamed this place the Monster Mile because of its propensity for chewing up cars in the blink of an eye. Guys, from a driver's and crew chief's perspective, what is it about this place that makes it so treacherous?
Well, it's a 1 mile banked racetrack, 24 degrees of banking that you carry a lot of speed around here. And as you heard us talk about, you fall off the corner, literally, and it feels like when your car lands, you just hope it's going in the right direction as you go into turns 1 and 3. And then you have to really use a lot of throttle coming out of the corner. You literally drive straight at the wall and hope that your car turns from that point. Concrete and radial tires don't really mix, but these guys make it work somehow.
And it's very difficult on the race car. It's very hard on the equipment. You have to get that balance just right, or you will overwork either the right rear or the right front tire. And that's what you got to really be careful of, is not to fail those tires and cause yourself a lot of problems.
A very impressive rookie class here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Brendan Gaughan finishing second at Charlotte. Justin Allgaier, a couple of top 5 finishes. What what advice would you give a rookie driver, DJ, to be able to somehow come here for the first time and survive the monster?
Oh, I think the biggest thing, just kind of find yourself a comfort zone for the beginning of this race. Get yourself into the flow of it, and then work on your race car to where you can really go at the end. But try to get 200 miles under your belt.
You couldn't come to a better place and try to pick up that elusive first victory. In fact, 13 drivers have won their very first ever NASCAR Nationwide Series race here at Dover, Delaware, including the series all-time win leader Mark Martin, who won here back in 1987. Let's go trackside.
And now to put today's Heluva Good 200 into motion, I present to you the Senior Vice President of Operations of HP Hood, Mr. Scott Blake.
Race fans, are we ready? On behalf of Heluva Good and all its employees, drivers, start your engines!
Engines have fired and cars are getting set to roll. Our in-race reporter today has been on cloud 9 all week long because a cloudburst last Saturday night forced an early end of the race in Charlotte, and he was declared the winner. When we return, we'll ask Mike Bliss if he can carry that momentum to victory lane once again here today. The day began with 19-year-old Joey Logano giving himself a bit of an anniversary gift. This is the one-year anniversary of his debut in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and today he became the youngest pole sitter in the history of Dover International Speedway. While you watch to see where the other drivers have qualified, let's visit with our in-race reporter, the driver of the Miccosukee Resorts Chevrolet, Mike Bliss, who starts 16th today.
Hey, Mike, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You have a copy?
Yeah, I do, Dale.
Hey, Mike, first, congratulations on a great win last week. We've been talking about how difficult this racetrack can be for drivers. I want you to tell our viewers just how much fun it is to race on this track.
I enjoy racing here. It is a tough place when your car's not right, but I enjoy the concrete tracks. I like killing that white line the whole race, and that's all I try to do in practice is just wear that white line out. And when you can do that all race long, you'll be passing people.
Okay, Mike, our second question comes from our ESPN mailbag, and Terry in Dawson Springs, Kentucky would like to know, what did you do to celebrate your win, and how does a win affect the way you look at your season?
Well, celebration, comes short. We had big lunch on Monday, and we just kind of went through the rest of the week like everything else. Same cars at Charlotte's here, so they had to work hard to get it turned around. And we just try real hard every week and put the same car, a good car underneath us.
All right, Mike, thanks. Have a great day, and thanks for talking with us. Now, Andy's going to talk to your car chief, Nick Harrison.
Hey, Nick, Andy Petrie in the booth. You got us?
10-4, I got you, Andy.
Nick, you guys used some great strategy to get your first win of the season last week. What do you have up your sleeve today?
There's a NASCAR caution at lap 35, and some guys might take 2. We'll see how we progress, but all the guys have worked hard, and I think we got a good race car, and we'll see how it turns out.
Okay, Nick, thanks for talking to us, and you guys have good luck.
All right, man, thanks a lot.
We'll have cameras inside 7 other cars today, including former Dover winners Ryan Newman and Carl Edwards, who start 6th and 8th, respectively. Our over-the-wall camera today is attached to the front tire changer for Stephen Wallace's 5-Hour Energy Chevy. 42-year-old Mark Hollywood Armstrong is completing his 15th year as a tire changer here in NASCAR. Well, the green flag hasn't even waved here yet, and it's already been somewhat of a juggling act for some teams. For more, here's Jamie Little.
Well, that's certainly right. The 99 team is Scott Speed. Per NASCAR rule, they were slated to show up with a sealed motor. The problem, they showed up and their motor was not sealed. So they went to the 15 team. A fellow Toyota team had to make the engine change. Now, the point is they had to move to the back. That was the penalty. So they're both in the back of the field, but Scott Speed feels pretty good at this racetrack, Doc. Remember, he's raced here once. It was in the truck 1 year ago. He went to victory lane.
We'll watch for him to come up from the back of the pack after a frustrating weekend for the 99 team. Today's race, 200 miles on a 1-mile racetrack. That's 200 laps. Pit road speed very slow at 35 miles an hour, and a tank of Sunoco fuel, Andy, almost a halfway, 90 laps.
Yeah, they may even try to stretch that if the tire wear increases. Right now, the tires are wearing pretty much.
Guys, give us some of your picks for possible sleepers here today.
I'm going to go back to the 21st starting spot, Justin Allgaier. I think that even though he's a rookie here, he's looking for a great day. Let's watch his progress.
And Scott Wimmer, he knows how to win here. He's got a good starting spot, starting inside the top 15. He might have one of his best races of the year.
This broadcast is available in Spanish by activating your SAP button presented by ESPN Deportes. Let's listen to some radio inside the pole sitter's car, Joey Logano.
Done a great job lately. You deserve this win. Let's go get it. And 4 on that one.
19-year-old driver a year ago. After his birthday, he was able to run his very first NASCAR nationwide race right here in Dover, Delaware. He started 9th that day and finished 6th. Could he get a win on the 1-year anniversary? Here they come. Glad to have you with us out of turn 4 for the green flag at Dover. Very quickly, some contact involving the 77 car of Peyton Sellers. Some damage in the back.
Looked like Justin Allgaier spun the tires on the start, and that stacked them up.
Yeah, we saw a couple of cars right up front spinning the tires, and that's a problem that you have here on this concrete surface, trying to get these tires hooked up when they're cold.
Speaking of hooked up, look at these Gibbs cars already putting a little bit of distance on the field.
Yeah, you can see the 6 car, David Reagan, getting sideways, and that kind of made Kevin Harvick have to get out of the throttle there coming out of turn 4.
Kevin Harvick in the 33 car coming off a very un-Harvick-like performance. And here's the 77 you mentioned.
Caution is out. Stay up, Ace. Stay up. Caution flag is out. Get down if you can. Get down if you can.
Well, things went from bad to worse with Peyton Sellers. He's already torn up 1 car in practice, and now he's torn this one up.
So we don't even get an entire lap completed here at the Monster Mile, and we're under caution for the first time. Again, it was the start, coming to the green flag, and watch the right side of your screen.
Well, actually, you see, looks like it's stacked up in front of these guys.
Yeah.
And just that accordion effect that got him. I said it looked like Allgaier spun the tires. He actually got jacked up from behind.
Lap 1 at the drop of the green flag. The Monster has bitten at least 1 race car, the 77 of Peyton Sellers in the pits. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Working lap 4 of the Heluva Good 200 here at Dover International Speedway. Caution coming out on the very first lap of the race. The 77 car now being pushed back behind the wall. Tough break early for Peyton Sellers. Now getting set for the restart. In a discussion today here at the racetrack, NASCAR Vice President Jim Hunter said that NASCAR on the front burner was considering changing these restarts very soon to double file restarts. Guys, your thoughts?
Yeah, I talked to a number of the drivers that came out of the Tuesday meeting, and they said that that was one thing that was discussed extensively, and that they felt like that within the next month for sure that we would be looking at those double file restarts in both of these series.
And you think double file restarts, well, they already start double file, but what the change is going to be is the leaders will be double file with each other, and they'll be able to race each other. The lap down cars will be behind all of the lead lap cars.
That was the restart mechanism they used a couple of weeks ago in the All-Star race in Charlotte. It gave us some great racing on the restarts, and the guys were side by side for lap after lap going into turn 1 and 2.
Yes, another one of those things you see it on Saturday nights used at your local short track too a lot, and it's another one of those changes that the drivers probably aren't extremely happy and excited about it, but they know that it's going to be great racing for the fans, so we'll look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, but for now, we're going to have single file restarts here with Joey Logano showing the way. Kyle Busch, David Reagan, Ryan Newman, and Kevin Harvick in the top 5. Let's update the 6 car, Jamie Little.
Well, Doc, David Reagan got in the car. He had a little bit of a surprise. He didn't know what change the team had made to his car. This was on his radio.
Yeah, that first year restart, I'll have to get used to that. Man, I wish we could have talked about that before it got put in here for this weekend. But I'll get used to it. Maybe it'll help me out.
Talking to his crew chief, Mike Kelly. Mike made that change. He said that's what he was told that these drivers wanted. And hey, he's doing double duty. Didn't have a lot of time to talk, Doc.
Mike Kelly, the crew chief there. David Reagan, the big winner at Talladega, breaking that 84 race winless streak a few weeks ago. Led the final 50 feet. It's all he led all day long, but that's all he had to lead.
All he had to lead. And one of that change may have been made by a couple of things. They're running a higher gear here now. They can't run as much gear as they ran last year. A lot less RPMs. And with these tapered spacers, they don't have the horsepower. So they're looking to get these cars going up and going on these restarts. So starting in first gear. But it makes it difficult for the driver a lot of times.
Yeah, and it looks like that might have been what's causing some of this tire spin we see on the start. We'll pay closer attention right here. If these guys are using first gear, it's putting a lot more torque on those rear wheels.
You mentioned the tires. NASCAR had told the drivers in the meeting there would be a mandatory competition caution at lap 35 to check tire wear because of all the rain they had here yesterday that washed what little rubber there was off the racetrack.
Yeah, these concrete tracks are really bad to wear the tires early on before you put rubber down, and we haven't had the opportunity to do that except this morning. We had a lot of rain over the weekend, and this morning the Cup cars got to practice and put a little rubber down.
Let's update the 38 car. Dave.
Doc, he qualified 23rd. They actually had to start 41st at the back of this field for adjustments they made after qualifying. One of the nuts that holds the track bar assembly in place had broken off. Important that they found it. Disappointing that they had to start further back than they qualified.
Jason Leffler third in the point standing, just 100 behind Carl Edwards and having 6 consecutive top 10 finishes. Here they come to the green flag as the pace car pulls away. And 19-year-old Joey Logano has led all 6 laps thus far from his pole position. That's Kevin Harvick looking to the inside of Ryan Newman. That would be for 4th spot. Newman pulls him by a couple of car lengths up high.
All of these drivers that I talked with here the last 2 days were talking about how hard they had to drive these race cars here because of the smaller amount of horsepower that they have now, Andy.
Yeah, this is one of those racetracks that you don't talk about finesse. Wow, we got some 3 wide racing here. Let Boyer get by Scott Wimmer. Greg Biffle in the 16 up ahead of these guys. This is one of those racetracks that aggressiveness really pays off. I mean, some tracks you go to, you talk about finesse, you got to be smooth. This is one of those racetracks that you can really attack.
Yeah, and that's why Greg Biffle's usually pretty good here. He's in that 16 car, the City Financial car. And they've got a little special deal this weekend. They brought 25 kids here from the Boys and Girls Clubs of Delaware. Had some pictures made, talked with them, and they're here enjoying the race today.
Harvick, he's working over Newman for this 4th spot.
Kevin Harvick very frustrated over their performance or lack of that last week at Charlotte when they finished back in 23rd position.
Yeah, you can see Ryan Newman's car wiggle just a little bit in front of him. That gave Kevin a chance to get up on his bumper and try to get to the inside as they go down into turn 1.
More on the 33 car. Dave.
Doc, I talked to crew chief Ernie Cope about that performance as he now gets by Newman, and he said, you know what, we were trying stuff in the month of May. It was very frustrating and our performance was down because of the things we were trying. He said this weekend we went back to basics, and boy did it make a difference. Kevin's happy, we're happy, the car is much better. That stuff we tried, I don't think we're going to use it.
Yeah, Dave, he was the fastest car in the practice session yesterday, and they were very pleased with how this Chevy was running.
You're always looking for something more, something that'll give you an edge, and sometimes you go the wrong way. It's hard to tell where you're at, and going back to what you know works, sometimes is the best thing to do.
Yeah, but with no testing, you have to try these things. That's the only way that you're going to learn with this. You see a great battle going on here. But you know, in Ernie Coates' case, whenever he can make the driver and the owner happy at the same time, that's a really good thing for him.
Great battle, as you said, DJ, for 11th position. That's Paul Menard, the 98th. And behind him, the birthday boy, Clint Boyer, who turns 30 today. Reigning series champion, trying to take it away. And up behind him, good run for Scott Wimmer, another one of the former winners here.
Scott Wimmer's digging right there with Boyer. That's the car that Wimmer has driven here before, that 29 car. Driving this 40 car this year. This is one of these racetracks that Scott really likes.
And that's Jason Keller behind him in the 27 car. What a great job this Baker Curb team has done this year. Keller also having won here back in 2000.
And talking to Clint Boyer, it was kind of a weird conversation talking about that they're having to get this Richard Childress Racing organization going in the right direction because they've been so dominant in this series over the last few years, and they've fallen behind, and they're having to work their way back up now.
DJ, it's hard to believe that the RCR teams won a total of 1 race in 2008, and that was Clint Boyer, who went on to win the championship, and he got that win by virtue of some rain helping him at Bristol, Tennessee.
I'll tell you, these guys here will not let you rest. If you just sit on what you got, they're going to patch you. And that might have been some of what's happened with Childress. They had a good package they didn't want to mess with, and now they find themselves a little behind. Here's Harvick still on the move underneath Reagan.
We talk about Concrete Carl. You heard Alan in NASCAR Countdown talking about Concrete Kevin. Kevin Harvick, a 6-time winner on concrete, but he has never won at this racetrack.
Biffle's got some damage here. He's been up against the wall pretty hard.
Now clear low.
You can see a lot of damage on the right side.
Yeah, we're talking about Greg and how he's really good at this racetrack, but one of the things that makes him good is he really likes to hang that car out, and obviously got a little too close here.
Cut a right front. Right sides here, right sides.
Might need more of the tires, boys.
Biffle, a 2-time winner here. There are 11 former winners in the field. He was the only one that had won more than once on this track in nationwide competition.
See the City Financial crew getting ready for Greg to come down pit road.
Yeah, he's bent some stuff underneath the car too.
Pretty fast to start finish line here where they come down the hill past the open.
They'll have to put these tires on and at least knock some fenders out.
Pretty hard hit.
You hear Greg just say it's a pretty hard hit, so there's, as you said, Andy, they're going to have to do more work than just throw tires at it.
And he is already 2 laps down before he ever gets stopped in his pits. Dave.
Hey guys, I don't know how much of the radio transmission you heard, but he did feel like the right front was going down, which sent him into the wall. It wasn't a result of that, and they're going to decide right now if they're going to head to the garage or not. A cut right front makes Biffle's day a lot longer.
Yeah, he's not gonna be up to speed with what he's got here right now. I think he's just going to try to feel it out and see what he's got. Take a quick look, see if we can find out what happened with Greg.
We talked about all the speed that you carry here. You can see, yeah.
Oh man,
that right front was going down.
Yeah, he was already out of the groove when he came in the shot there, like something was definitely wrong.
Yeah, and that would have happened entering the corner back there and caused him to go up the racetrack.
There comes Joey Logano now by the 16 car, and that will put him now 4 laps down.
What you don't want to do here is, after having a car get damaged like this, is go back out there and take a chance on hurting your driver, especially when you've got a guy that's going to be running tomorrow, one of the top drivers in the Roush organization. You want to make sure that you keep him safe out there.
Yeah, we saw Joey Logano go by him again, man. Joey Logano's doing what we think of his teammate doing, Kyle Busch, and that's jumping out front and kind of leaving these guys in his dust. There you can see Kyle Busch. He's our second place car. He's about just under a second behind Joey Logano, as you see Logano going by some traffic.
87 car there is Kevin Conway. Joey Logano set on the pole and has now led all 22 laps thus far. The 1-year anniversary of his debut in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. When we come back, they'll get ready for a competition yellow here at Dover. Under caution for the second time today here in the Heluva Good 200 at Dover International Speedway. Contact 2 drivers, a 09 of John West Townley, the rookie, and another rookie, the 23 of Ken Butler III. Both hitting pretty hard, coming up off turn 2 on the back straightaway.
We can see how this track will just chew up a race car.
Yeah, and these young guys have a difficult time. You have to run really hard here, but there's just nowhere to go. Something happens right there. It seems that the banking on the straightaway just feeds you all to the same place. Let's look at the replay.
And this all coming off of turn 2. Wow, John West Townley just goes straight into the 23. Don't know if maybe he had a problem with his car before that.
Man, I don't know.
Man, that was a hard lick.
And Butler took a hard lick on that inside. Thank goodness they have the safer barrier down there now.
Give him room inside here. Give him room inside. Oh.
You've given him plenty of room.
Yeah. Unbelievable. That had nothing to do with us Sparks.
We'll go on board here with Ryan Newman and get his view. See here, these cars get together. He gets loose here and then just chases his car up the hill there.
Squirrely in front of you there. Stay down.
Straight into Bubba.
Yes, yes.
This will serve now officially as the competition yellow. NASCAR was aiming at lap 35. We're working lap 29 right now. Second yellow flag of the day.
What that means is now all these cars will come down pit road and be able to put fuel in, do all the service that they would not have been able to do until that competition yellow.
Safety crews on the scene there in the 23 car helping Ken Butler get out of the car. The Lucky Dog, the Aaron's free pass Lucky Dog winner, goes to the 26 car. Brian Kozlowski, he was the first car 1 lap down, and now he will be able to get back on the lead lap, giving us now 27 cars on the lead lap.
Do you think he's pulling forward to win the Stanley Cup?
You think he's a Red Wings fan or what? He's a Michigan boy. There's Ken Butler able to walk out. Now, let's go down pit road for our Toyo Tires triple pits, starting with Jamie Little.
And David Reagan says the car's coming to him. He started second, slipped back a couple spots, but that, of course, starting in first gear that we talked about on the radio. You see David Reagan in the 6 car on top. They're going to take some Sunoco fuel, and they're going to make a little adjustment at the rear end. But he said the car overall, guys, get better on the long run. They just need to run some more laps. Dave?
Second place, Kyle Busch will take 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. The wrench going in the back window will help that car turn so he doesn't have to feed it as much steering wheel to make it go fast around the corners. Shannon.
Dave, Joey Logano on the bottom of your screen. He's going to take 4 tires and fuel. Says the car is just a little bit snug, but they're not going to make any adjustments on this 20 car right now. The car's been out front. Your pole sitter been out front all race long. See if he wins the battle off pit road.
Lots of room on a brand new pit road. Let's see if they use it all, and indeed they do. Sideways coming out of the pits, Carl Edwards, and Harvick gains a spot. Boyer up 4 positions, and Paul Menard gains a spot to get back into the top 10. Joey Logano, exactly where he was when he came on the pit road as the leader. Now let's listen and watch as Mark Hollywood Armstrong changes the front tire for Stephen Wallace on the 66 car.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go to the other side. Got Matt Donnelly here in the left front. Pull it. Stop.
ABC's Summer Smash Hit Wipeout is back with new obstacles, crazier contestants, and even bigger wipeouts. ABC's Wipeout Wednesday, 8/7 Central on ABC. Under the second caution of the race here at Dover today, and a round of pit stops have just been completed. Joey Logano holding the lead on those pit stops. Tire wear a concern after the heavy rain last night, Brad. The teams are checking it out now.
Yeah, you got to keep a close eye on these tires, Alan, like we talked about earlier in the pre-race show. Racetrack will just simply eat up the right sides, and so you got to be on top of it, make sure everything's good, flow clear, and make sure you're fine. Dave?
And just down here in second place, Kyle Busch is pit over here in this corner. If Chris can pan left, right, actually just a little bit, is the right rear the most concerned tire in most cases. It looks great, and it's in good shape down here. I think you're looking at the front tire there, but way back over here, the rear tire, no cords on this puppy right now. So far into that short run, things looking good for Kyle Busch.
All right, David, thank you. And that was crew chief Jason Ratcliffe down off the wagon, checking on things. Now, the 18 car had a little extra work to do. Remember, we saw the replay of him getting squeezed into the wall earlier by the 87 car. Well, watch on the left side of the pit stop. After they put the new tire in place on the front, just got to do a little work to make sure things are okay.
Yeah, just got to do a little bit of straightening out over there, making sure they've got all the aerodynamics of the race car adjusted. You see him yanking out on the fender there to give a little bit more clearance so he doesn't get into that left side tire. Should be good to go.
Last thing you want is a tire being rubbed by a fender on this monster mile, huh, guys?
That cost him a spot on pit road, guys. He came in second, came out third as Harvick able to beat him by that little extra couple seconds pulling the fender out. By the way, a couple penalties during that pit stop. 16 was too fast entering the pits. Greg Biffle. The 07 too fast on exit. Mike Harmon. We have 8 cars that have gone to the garage area. The 05, 96, 90, 0, 91. The 77 involved in the lap 1 incident, Peyton Sellers, and the 2 involved just a moment ago in the most recent caution flag. Set for the green flag, Joey Logano has led 32 of the 33 laps thus far. They are going to hold the 16 car on pit road an additional lap for pulling up the pit. Oh, there's contact. Stephen Wallace in the 66 and the 99 of Scott Speed.
Now, these guys have been going at it since they came on to pit road during that caution. Scott Speed was right on Stephen's bumper coming all the way down, and then the 99 car jumped to the outside on that restart, Andy.
Yeah, well, that happened too. Kyle Busch took second spot away from Harvick. Man, look at him jammed up here coming off the corner.
Last week's winner, Mike Bliss, able to go by Morgan Shepherd. That's Brendan Gaughan to his left.
We've talked about there's nowhere to hide as we see Ryan Newman going to the outside here, trying to pass Clint Boyer.
That would be for 5th position. First of 4 races that Newman will drive in the 5 car for Rick Hendrick and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Still not a lot of rubber in that second groove, but Newman making it work for him on that pass.
A lot of these guys were talking about, because of the lack of horsepower that they have, that they're hoping that second groove's going to come in where they could keep these things wound up.
That's exactly what Jason Leffler told me this morning, that he hoped that that groove would move up for just that reason.
Let's update the 60 car. Carl Edwards back in 7th spot. Shannon.
Doc, your championship contender, Carl Edwards. Currently the car's a little tight, but earlier in the race, about lap 20, they thought they had some other issues. This is what they said on the radio.
10-4, how's the motor right here? How's all that? Well, it's running good down the straightaway. It's just when I'm in the corner, when I got side load, it doesn't, it sounds like it's on 7 cylinders and feels dead. Might just be my imagination. I don't think I'd lift the hood because it runs good down the straightaway, you know?
So saying there may be some problems with the engines, the team was going to go under the hood under that last pit stop. They opted not to because they just told me that that problem is only happening in the turns. So right now they're just going to feel it out. It's not happening on the straightaway, so they're just going to let Carl stay out.
You get a lot of load here at this racetrack, a lot of side load and downward loads. It could be just a fuel issue where it may not be getting the fuel that it needs to the cylinders when it's in the corner. I don't know what else it could be, but
yeah. This racetrack always gave me a feeling there's so many different things that happen. It's not a smooth racetrack. You're bouncing around a lot, and so a lot of things can happen. You said, Andy, it may be a fuel deal, could be a battery connection there or something like that that's just creating a problem as he gets into the corner.
It also could be the car just as tight. He's binding the car up, and it feels like the motor's bogging.
Here's the 38 car, Jason Leffler. Remember, you heard at the top of the show they had made adjustments after the impound, had to go back and started in 41st position. He had driven the car all the way up to 19th prior to that caution flag on lap 29. He is now being shown in 15th position, so Leffler marching his way to the front.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job, and I actually questioned, and the peer reporters found out that he did take 4 tires there, so he's on just like everybody else. Dave?
And DJ, just backing up how good that car is running, no chassis adjustments on that stop, so he called the car really very good during that first run, and they didn't do anything but change 4 tires and give him fuel.
This is a team that's really just been on a roll. I mean, no matter what, it seems like they find their way to the front. And when you're clicking on all cylinders like that, it doesn't matter what track you go to or even where you start. It just seems to happen for you.
200th career start today for Leffler. 6 consecutive top 10 finishes has moved him all the way up to 3rd overall in the point standings. And a lot of people in the garage area saying if they can just continue with top 10 finishes, they got a shot at winning this championship.
Well, one problem by the 2 guys in front of him, and he's right there as far as the championship battle goes. And then talking to Jason, I would talk about how good he's doing and how excited it was to watch him. He'd always come back, yeah, well, we need to win a race. We need to win a race. But he also knows that they're getting to that point.
He is between the 2 Rusty Wallace cars. In front of him is Stephen Wallace in the 66 car, and behind him is the 62 of Brendan Gaughan, the rookie who had the great second-place finish at Charlotte last Saturday. "45 laps are in the books here, almost a 1/4 of the way through here at Dover, Delaware, the Monster Mile. And thus far, the monster has been the 19-year-old in that 20 car. Joey Logano is just opening up a can on the competition. He has led 44 of the 45 laps. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station.
At the 1/4 mark of today's NASCAR Nationwide Series race from Dover International Speedway, there's the race for the lead. The Joe Gibbs Racing teammates, Joey Logano in the 20, Kyle Busch in the 18, trying to track him down.
They are the class of the field thus far, but it looks like Kevin Harvick's got a really strong race car, and he's starting to chomp away at that lead just a little bit.
A little bit of lap traffic here as we check out our Holiday Inn race summary. as Kyle Busch can't quite find the room to make the move. Only leaders of the race. Logano's led all but one lap. Under caution, Michael Annett led a lap. So really that accounts for all of the lead changes up to this point. A couple caution flags so far. One early in the race on the second lap when Peyton Sellers got on the wall. Then the crash between John West Townley and Ken Butler in the third. Back at lap number 27. Watching Kyle Busch hunt and peck and try to find a way around his teammate for the lead.
How impressive has Joey Logano been this far? I mean, he has done a great job keeping that race car up front. He's held off Kyle Busch. He's withheld the pressure, and he's showing why everyone raves about his talent.
Doc, DJ, and Andy, looks to me like it's just a matter of time before that 18 car is out front, huh?
Yeah, hard to believe the 18 is being patient, but I think he's probably sitting there watching and letting some laps click away, DJ, because I know that Kyle Busch likes to lead every single lap he can lead.
Yeah, I'm not sure how patient, although he has shown some patience here in traffic and not putting too much pressure or taking too many chances with Joey Logano. But I know he wants to get that Toyota his out front as quickly as he possibly can.
Justin Allgaier inside Jason Keller.
That is for 11th position. Justin Allgaier, as you mentioned, Dale Jarrett picked him as one of the sleepers, coming back from 21st starting spot, now moving his way into 11th.
Yeah, and that was Scott Speed coming along with him. He's come from the back of the pack after having that penalty to go to the back. We see Kyle Busch trying to make that pass again.
Couple of lap cars there, the 60, the 26, and Brian Kozlowski there. Of course, and Kyle had to think better of it.
I think he's showing a lot of patience right here. I'm kind of surprised that he is patient to run second to Logano, but he's already gotten his car damaged a little bit from another lap car incident, so he doesn't want to take any more damage or get any more damage to his car.
From talking to these crews, they talk about how much Kyle Busch, how much his input has really helped Joey in the Cup car. And Joey really starting to come along in the Cup car, and obviously working together with his teammates. And now up high, here goes the 18 car by, and he will take the lead from Logano.
Yeah, we talk about patience on Kyle Busch's part. How about Joey Logano saying, okay, you caught me. Let me see maybe what you're doing is a little bit better than what I'm doing at this point in time. They both have very fast race cars.
That was a smart move by Joey Logano. Couple lap cars right here. 3 wide. Around Eric McClure.
Well, there went the patience.
Got legacy, yeah.
That's just what you have to do at this racetrack. You have to take what it gives you. You run up on these cars running a good bit slower. You don't want to slow down. You have to keep the momentum up with these cars.
You could actually get in trouble trying to be patient or timid around some of this traffic. You just have to go for it sometimes.
See how tentative the 20 car is.
Going for it.
Trying to be very careful underneath the rookie Legacy.
And you can see just how far Kyle Busch stretched that out by Joey Logano having to be out of the throttle just a little bit.
Well, Kyle is now.
I think it's Kyle saying he appreciated the move by Logano.
Yeah, he doesn't think that would have happened if it would have been somebody beside the teammate, huh?
Or
like
if it had been at the end of the race.
Yes.
More on Kyle Busch. Dave.
That quote was dripping with sarcasm, and it was before the pass. Okay? He was,
And now you know the rest
Andy,
of the
you know it's all about Kyle. He wants everything he can get, and right then he felt like his car was faster, and that Joey should just pull over. Eventually, they passed along that message, and he did get that pass by. But Kyle, very good here, and after they made that adjustment on the first stop, the car is working much better, obviously.
Yeah, they got that fender cleared on the left front, and looks like it's made all the difference.
If Joey Logano goes back and watches this when he's sitting around tonight and hears that, it might be a little more difficult the next time Kyle Busch wants to pass him, though, or catches him. I don't know.
Are you saying that a driver would think about that next time your teammate's behind you when you hear that kind of comment?
Well, yeah, I would. I don't know about them, but that certainly would enter my mind.
Pretty good battle here. 38th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th on your screen. Now there's Leffler in the 14th spot. In the back of that group, here comes the one car of Mike Bliss.
Yeah, Bliss had passed Brendan Gaughan, and now Brendan Gaughan's kind of used that high line a little bit and gone back around Mike Bliss, who keeping true to what he said. He likes to be on that bottom.
Yeah, he said he was going to eat that white line up, and that's what he's doing. He's watching Brendan Gaughan, though, and he might learn something here.
Yeah, he's getting a nice run off the corner here, as you can see him try to go around his teammate, Stephen Wallace. You can see just how difficult it is to make that pass on the bottom side here. See, Brendan's been going in a little bit higher and turning the car down and getting a nice run off the corner. Stephen Wallace is doing a good job there. Shannon?
Guys, I asked crew chief Dale Ferguson, Stephen Wallace's crew chief, how the weekend has been. He said not fun. He said they went totally in the wrong direction during practice. The car got so loose, they had to go back to the way they unloaded. It was just okay. But guys, Stephen Wallace has been really strong on these short tracks this season and last season. Dale Ferguson says it's because he's aggressive and these tracks just suit his style.
Shannon, this is the car Stephen Wallace used to finish 7th at Bristol back in the spring, and also a top 10 run at Nashville. Finished 9th there. And of course, his former teammate David Strimmy drove this car to a 3rd place finish here at Dover last spring. So pretty good race car for Stephen right now, trying to hold on to 15th position. 65 laps in of 200 here. NASCAR Nationwide Series action at Dover International Speedway. Kyle Busch, our leader, Logano, Harvick, Reagan.
ESPN's coverage of the NASCAR Nationwide Series on ABC. Brought to you by Holiday Inn Racing. Always stay under green. New Neutrogena Ultimate Sport, the ultimate line of sports sunblock. And Toyo Tires. Toyo Tires are driven to perform.
Trouble on the back straightaway. The 52 car has spun around Kevin LePage driving for Jimmy Smut Means, and he has hit the wall a ton. The whole front of that car is shoved in.
He's got out there.
It sounds like he may have gotten a little help, but he shortened the front end of this car up.
Second time we've seen a hard impact off of turn 2 down to the inside wall.
Kevin, a former 2-time winner in this series, veteran driver. See what happened to him coming up off the corner.
Eric McClure is up on the inside of Kevin LePage, just gets into the left rear corner. And there's just no saving it here. You get spun, you're going to hit something at Dover. And, ooh, hit something hard.
And the straightaways are banked so much also, it just doesn't give you a chance. There's no room back there. It's unfortunate for Kevin LePage. He was having a nice day, just staying out of trouble.
His car owner, Jimmy Means, celebrating his 59th birthday yesterday, and they asked Jimmy what he wanted. He said, bring this thing back in one piece, and I'll be very happy.
Now, somebody forgot to blow out the candles then.
Yep.
Man.
Guys, let's pack this stuff up. We got to take these tires all back to Goodyear in the.
Our lucky dog is the 81 car. He will be able to get back on the lead lap. Bobby Hamilton Jr., first time he's been back in a car as a driver since Homestead, the finale a year ago. So he will get back on the lead lap. And that will add one more car there, be able to possibly have a shot at getting a top 10 finish. Good to see Kevin walk away after what was a pretty hard impact. Leaders now headed down pit road. Let's go down to our Toyo Tires triple pits. Jamie.
And David Reagan's team looking to be smooth this time. They made a little air pressure adjustment on that last stop. He said it was halfway to where they need to be. Said balance is pretty good. They need a little bit more. 4 tires and air pressure for David Reagan. Dave?
The leader is still having just a little bit of trouble turning, so they made the same adjustment with the wrench to the window, but just half again on the wedge. He stalls it leaving, and now it catches fire. 4 tires and fuel for Busch. Shannon.
Dave, Joey Logano says the car is just a little bit tight. 4 tires and fuel, and he wins the race off pit road.
Good pit work there, crew chief. Joey Logano's bunch got him a spot.
No, and that number 1 pit stall didn't hurt anything either. He had a clear opening out of there and a good clean stop.
Clint Boyer up a couple positions for the 29 bunch, doing a good job down there. Under caution for the 3rd time today here at Dover, Delaware. Hard impact by the veteran in the 52 car, Kevin LePage. And the race off, Logano once again is the leader.
3, 1, 2, 3, do it! It's time to rock and roll. Team on 3, 1, 2, 3, team!
Holding on the jag, we down and away, baby! Get you some of that! Come on!
They are fired up here on pit road at Dover, Delaware to get the job done in the trenches. That's where you got to get it done. Every split second, millisecond makes a big difference in whether you get out in front of or behind someone else. The 18 car had a stumble on pit road, right, Dave?
Absolutely, guys. Kyle Busch has been on and off of pit road and has made that adjustment to his race car. And that is all okay. It's been traffic that he's been having trouble getting around, including a guy that used to work at Joe Gibbs Racing. Listen.
He can't even hold a lane, man. Look, I have no idea where he's going to go. What are you talking about? He was on the top in 1 and 2. He goes in on the bottom, though. If you're going to go in on the top, stay up top. I know. I was joking there. Hey, man, he's KFC. What do you want?
Now, interestingly, Jason Ratcliffe had talked this weekend how Kyle is able to get around this track and find a line anywhere. I guess it means around traffic, too.
Yeah, you got to keep those fenders on, though, and it gets frustrating when you have cars that cut you off and you feel like should give you a little more room, especially when they're lap down cars.
We had a couple of cars penalized on this pit exchange. The 5 car of Ryan Newman and the 15 of Michael Annette, both having to go to the tail end of the field because they were too fast on exit of pit road. And again, the speed on pit road today is a very slow 35 miles an hour.
It's going to be costly for Newman. That's going to put him back in the 20th position on this restart.
Yeah, that's unusual here because you usually don't have enough room to speed on this pit road. Now they've widened it out.
Some room. Now you can.
Major renovations here, 5 years worth of renovations, and this year it was the pit road that they were able to expand. They had a 43rd pit stall and expand pit road by a little over 4 feet, took the grass out, added the safer barrier here on the front straightaway.
See Greg Biffle lining up on the inside. He's 5 laps down, but we're going to see how good his car is, see if they've got it fixed.
Logano, the leader, will come down in the green flag. Kyle Busch, David Reagan, Harvick, Boyer, and Brad Keselowski.
Biffle drove it down in there, but looks like he's still hurt a little bit, the car is.
No match for those Toyotas up on the outside. Now we'll see if the 18 car can move up high a little bit, see if he will move in and try to retake that lead spot.
It's been taking Kyle Busch a little time to get to Logano. It looks like he's staying with him a little bit better. That 20 car's been really, really fast when it was out front in that clean air. We are getting some more rubber down on the track. That'll let Kyle Busch and these other drivers be able to search around a little bit more. You see Brian Vickers and Carl Edwards having a battle here.
That 88 car right there of Brad Keselowski now running in the top 6. Looking up there to the top 5 guys, and in that top 5 you see Clint Boyer also in the 29 car. He was strong that last run right before that caution came out.
Boyer, the winner here back in 2006 and the reigning series champion. Talking about the 88 car there, Brad Keselowski. And as long as he has driven for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Incorporated, he has never finished out of the top 10 here. 3 times he has come here, 3 top 10 finishes in a row. And despite one time having to start at the back of the pack.
Sometimes hard to just finish that many races in a row up here, so that's a good feat. Shannon?
You guys cannot deny that Brad Keselowski is great on concrete tracks. Both of his wins have come on this type of surface. I spoke with him before he climbed in the car, and I asked him if he looks forward to this race, these types of races. He said, I just love concrete racing. I always have a higher level of excitement when I get onto these types of tracks.
You know, that confidence is worth a couple of tenths, I think. Guy comes in here, says, I like a racetrack, it's worth some speed.
Yeah, you know a lot of other guys that are dreading coming here, so you got all of those guys beat. So that's really nice that you have that. I talked to Brad today. He's got this is the same car he ran to 8th last week, so he was excited about his chances today.
Here's a couple of Richard Childress Racing teammates, or teammates on Sunday in the Cup cars. Kevin Harvick in the 33 car, driving his own car here. Behind him, Clint Boyer in the 29. They are running 4th and 5th.
Watching this 29 car, he's been running the bottom of the racetrack real well. Now, see right there on the bottom. I don't know if he'll have to move up and try to pass Harvick, because it looks like Harvick likes that bottom lane.
Yeah, he does, but you can really see Clint get back to the throttle. We have trouble here.
Oh, gosh. That was a close call.
That is Mark Davis, the Silver Springs, Maryland driver. The 18-year-old has come up across the racetrack and tagged it with the back pretty hard.
That was a close call right there at a high rate of speed. A lot of cars avoiding this. This is he's lucky to not have any more damage than he has here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looked like Scott Speed that just barely missed him going by there.
About so fast I couldn't see who it was. We'll see on the replay here.
See what happens. I got a little bit of tap from Jason Leffler there.
Yeah, just in some heavy traffic and fast cars all around. Let's see.
Ryan Newman barely able to miss him from behind. Here's again the contact.
This is the problem. You find yourself in a jam right here as a lap car, and it's kind of hard to get out of the way at this racetrack.
Yeah, it's just nowhere to hide. But you have to respect that these guys are racing for a position up there.
See right here when he comes down across the racetrack, there it was right there. Brian Keselowski, I believe it was, just misses.
Mark Davis was running back in the 27th position, 2 laps down prior to that happening. Now, what's a near miss look like from Ryan Newman's seat? Take a look. Watch the car spin. Oh, he just gets by. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Swing away with ESPN for 2 nights of Major League Baseball action. First at 8 Eastern on Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. The Los Angeles Dodgers take on the Chicago Cubs. Then on Monday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern, it's Alex Rodriguez and the Yankees rolling into Cleveland to take on the Indians. ESPN News will be shown in New York Monday night and Monday nights. We are under the 4th caution of this race, approaching halfway here at Dover. Mike Bliss, last week's winner down at Lowe's Motor Speedway in Charlotte, running at the back of the lead lap cars after that last set of pit stops and almost got caught up in a mess.
Well, he did a good job staying out of the mess.
Hold up.
Mark Davis gets up into that outside fence really hard. Mike did a great job of avoiding that.
Bliss, our in-race reporter. Let's find out what he was doing back there. DJ?
Mike Bliss, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, we've been watching you on the bottom of the racetrack like you said you were. How's that thing going? And we noticed you made a pit stop here also. What was that about?
We're looser than, I can't really say that word on TV, but we're very loose today. We just center off. I just can't get after it. We're trying to tighten it up.
Okay, how's the racetrack? Is getting some rubber down there where you can go bottom and middle?
You know, I think the bottom's starting to rubber up a little bit. The top looks good. It's a good racetrack.
Okay, Mike, good luck.
So by Mike Bliss pitting, that will put him back in 22nd position. There are 23 cars on the lead lap. Scott Lagasse Jr., the last car on the lead lap. But a loose race car here, not fun.
I just talked to all those guys down there in the garage before the race, and they were just talking about how the track does loosen up, and they were going to run stickers early on and hopefully save their scuff tires in case the track did get real loose at the end.
Yeah, that's a loose car up out of these corners is very difficult. But that's where you set up people to make passes coming out of these corners, getting back to the gas. I noticed this car turning really well and being able to go around the bottom. I noticed he was struggling. I couldn't tell if he was tight because he was using up the whole racetrack, but it was because he was having to do that, not turning the steering wheel.
Dover International Speedway, they call it the Monster Mile. 3-story high banks, and you drop off the bankings like riding a roller coaster to drivers say. The bottom just drops out. Here comes Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Reagan Harvick, and Boyer, the top 5 back to the green.
Another difference, I don't know how many 170-mile-per-hour roller coasters you've been on either, so that makes a little difference too.
And most of them last about 45 seconds. This one lasts about 2 hours.
Kyle Busch wanting this lead once again. See him really get on the back bumper of Joey Logano, really trying to get his car loose. He's not going to hit him, run into him to get him loose. Just arrow-wise, he can make him loose getting down into the corner. But you see Kyle loses the front end of his car by staying up that close on the entrance to the corner.
Joey Logano was our pole sitter, has now led 3 times for 69 laps. We just joined our coverage. Kyle Busch actually passed Logano back on lap 57 and led 18 laps prior to the caution coming out. He lost that lead on pit road following a pit stop.
Joey Logano doing a nice job, though, holding off Kyle Busch.
That's one thing I've noticed about Joey Logano. We got in trouble. Newman is around in the wall. It's like that pit road penalty just compounded
I don't think
itself.
I heard anything, buddy. Yeah, I've got the back end.
He's got some red paint on that left front fender like he's gotten underneath somebody else.
He was in a gaggle of cars over there trying to get through the corner. Yeah, there's definitely some red, maybe a little yellow paint as well on the left front fender of that 5 car. Ryan.
As the cars went by here, I could see the right rear. Stephen Wallace also had some damage. So Ryan Newman making a pass there, getting a lot of speed.
Yeah, looks like something was wrong with Stephen Wallace's car. He was extremely slow getting in the corner. really surprised Newman.
I'm open. Clear.
Oh, yeah. Stephen Wallace thought he had a flat tire or something there, because that you wouldn't catch a car that quickly, especially a car that's running on the lead lap.
See, Matt Newman all over the brakes.
Fine here. Coming to you. Hang on, son. Caution's coming out. Hang on right there. Yellow's out. Inside of him.
And as you said, Andy, that pit road penalty putting him at the back of the pack. He was setting sail to try to get back to the front in a hurry. And, boy, just ran right up on the 66 car. On pit road, Ryan Newman bringing out the 5th caution flag of the day. Just 6 laps away from the halfway point here in the Heluva Good 200 at Dover International Speedway in Dover, Delaware. We are again under the yellow flag. This one the 5th time of the afternoon. Contact between the 5 car and the 66. Now there's a damaged 61 car of Brandon Witt. How did that car get damaged? Well, let's show you. Watch the 66 car coming around Stephen Wallace.
Like Stephen Wallace thought he had Brandon Witt cleared here and just cuts him off and gets a left rear tire against the right front fender of the 61. You see what happens here 1 lap later. Going into turn 1, he knows he's got a problem with that left rear, backs off, and Ryan Newman is a victim.
Ryan couldn't get slowed down, goes up against the wall, and here is watch him just inhale the 66 car. There's the contact.
What's fine here? Coming to you. Hang on, son. Caution's coming out. Hang on right there.
These were always up here guessing and wondering what exactly happened. Our staff is finding out for us.
That's right. They brought it all back.
Yeah. It doesn't all have to happen right there. It started, you can see that started almost a complete lap before.
Steven had to come on the pit road to change that left rear tire. There's the 5 car getting some damage repaired. And what about the 99 that's come all the way from the back of the pack? Dave.
And dicing through traffic, ran up on some cars. Listen to his radio.
Got right in front of me, lap traffic or position?
The 60 is next car in front of you.
Oh, I didn't realize that was Carl, because normally Carl's fast.
Oh, he is fast. You're just faster. Running with the dogs today.
That's Jerry Baxter, his crew chief, pumping even more confidence into a driver that feels very good here. Remember, he won a truck race here last year. His nationwide car is running very quick as well for Scott.
Don't you love Jerry Baxter? You're running with the big dogs
today. That's right, man.
Yeah.
You're up there doing it today.
And pumping more confidence into Scott Speed. I'm not sure that's possible, but that's all right.
That might not be a good thing.
Kid.
And Scott Speed, by the way, making only his 6th ever start here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
Yeah, doing a great job today. He's brought that car into the top 10 from the back of the pack. Let's see if Kyle Busch can go after Joey Logano one more time.
Kyle says, if you guys will quit wrecking long enough, I'll get this kid, maybe. Bottom of the racetrack, and Joey holds him off.
I think that's a year's experience on Joey Logano there. Last year, he might have thought that that car was close enough that he couldn't cut down in front of him there, but he knew that he had the car and he had the room right there to do it.
Like Ryan Newman is slow right here on the front stretch.
Kenny Wallace also going slow down the front stretch.
We got a lot of cars off the pace.
Yeah, Tony Raines in the 34 car slowing down as well. There's Kenny Wallace in the Border Patrol Chevy. He had been one of the leaders here earlier in the afternoon.
It looks like the right side of this 34 car is really flattened out. And it might be some debris on that backstretch. I saw some parts flying off that 34.
There are the 2 Joe Gibbs cars, first and second. Logano, Busch, David Reagan hanging tough. They're just about 4 or 5 car lengths back. Reagan watching this battle in front of him, saying, if you guys will wreck each other, I can win this thing.
Yeah, you know, we talk about how good these 2 drivers are, and they are tremendous talent, but how good is Joe Gibbs racing? This whole organization.
I guess I just get a view seeing his teammates and I'll relax.
That was Kyle Busch's radio. You're talking about the Joe Gibbs organization, DJ. They have won the last 3 nationwide races here in a row.
It's amazing. They put these cars out there, and it just, you know, they put these drivers, you know, Denny Hamlin jumps in them, they win races. When Tony was there, he win races. So, it's just a great organization. Not only this series, but obviously in the Sprint Cup Series too. See these cars kind of single file there. Now here we go to the racing.
Back to Jason Leffler. That's 13th, 14th, and 15th. Scott Wimmer having a good run back at 14th spot. Michael McDowell, the rookie back there. Brendan Gaughan, also a rookie.
Yeah, and we saw Mike Bliss at the back end of that group. He was still pretty loose. You can see the back end stepping out.
Michael McDowell's doing a nice job. He didn't have the qualifying effort that he wanted, starting back at about 28th today, but he's moved himself up into the top 15. We ride along with Bliss. You can see if you can't get in the throttle off the corner, those guys just kind of pull away from you. Then you try to make it up getting into the corner, but that's just going to slow you down even more as you wash up the track.
Good to see Bobby Hamilton Jr. back out here in that 81 car just ahead of Mike Bliss that we're riding with.
Bobby on the lead lap, being shown back in the 17th spot. 4th position, here goes the 29 car. Boyer trying to take it away, and now Harvick will give him the room, and now Harvick under attack from Keselowski.
That 88 car is coming about. I'm telling you, this 29 car looks really good going around this racetrack. He's just methodically moving his way up. I think he's got a car that can contend.
'15th position, 62 have gone. Couple of rookies battling, gone in 62. McDowell we're talking about in the 47th.
Brendan's starting to make that middle groove work a little bit more for him. Really carrying a lot of speed. He can carry the speed through. You see, he didn't get into the corner that hard, but he carried a lot off. Here we are back to the lead. Seeing Kyle Busch can get around Joey Logano. He's tried everything he can so far.
We're getting a report of a tire rub on the 20.
That's what they're saying. We're hearing that it may be a rub on the left front. Don't see any smoke. Both of these Gibbs cars have left front fender damage.
And this is a racetrack, Andy, that you can create a little bit of that yourself just by driving down onto the apron a little bit, getting that left front down just a little too far, and it'll create a problem for you. See a little bit of smoke right there.
Yeah, I did see just a puff of smoke, and you see a kink in that left front fender. We saw the 18 car get a kink in his, but they worked on it and pulled it away on a pit stop, actually the last couple of stops. These cars are so closely matched. They're running identical lap time.
Battle for position, that would be for 5th spot, Brad Keselowski in the 88 going downstairs and taking the spot away from Kevin Harvick. Right side of your screen, Kevin Harvick. Let's update what's going on with him, Dave.
Yeah, he's lost at one position since that restart, Doc, and they've kind of lost their way at this point in the race. They really would like a pit stop. They made a track bar adjustment last time to tighten the car up. Kevin said it made it even worse. They've got to do something next time to try to get them back on track to where they are. Very loose right now, going backwards.
Now, they're definitely losing a lot. I mean, they were really fast in the beginning, and now he's losing some spots. Here you go. You got Kyle Busch on the outside. He might have him this time.
May try to pin him behind a lap car. No, they have plenty of room to get by the 77 of Peyton Sellers, but now Kyle using the high groove.
Yeah, he kind of set him up there to do that. He kind of lulled Joey Logano to sleep a little bit, just following in his tracks and making him think that's where he's going to make his pass. And when, now that middle groove's coming in, Kyle was able to make that work. Here we go for 3rd place. Clint Boyer's taking that spot from David Reagan.
Clint Boyer said, I'm going to give myself a birthday present today. I'm 30 years old. I'm going to get a win.
I'm telling you, this 29 car is like a June bug on a string. I've watched him make these corners. You see him right down on that apron.
Is that a Harry Gant saying?
Well,
or is that yours?
I can't remember where I got it.
Okay.
That's what it looked like, though.
Okay.
Have you ever tied a string onto a June bug?
Yeah.
That sounds like Brad Daugherty said that. I think that's where you got it.
Past the halfway point, 111 of 200 laps in the books, and now Kyle Busch for the 2nd time today has reassumed the lead. Logano, Boyer, Reagan, and Brad Keselowski. NASCAR nationwide action at the Monster Mile. You're watching ESPN on ABC.
Just past halfway in today's NASCAR Nationwide Series race at the Monster Mile. Very few clean race cars out there. Everybody's got some dings, some donuts on the doors. Even the leader, Kyle Busch, had to stop and fix the left front fender a little while ago. The car he just passed for the lead, Joey Logano, NASCAR reporting he might have had some left front damage as well. Next door in our Craftsman Tech Garage, Tim Brewer's got a little show and tell for us. Tim?
Thanks, AB. Folks, when they're talking about tire rub, they're talking about this area of the tire right here going up and hitting a fender or just touching the side. But if it's in this area over here, that's going to be pretty much devastating. But see this meaty area right here? When it goes up and just touches the fender just a little bit, you're not going to encounter a blowout. But down there in this area, that'll get you in a lot of trouble. AB?
All right, Mr. Brewer, thank you much. So for now, things looking okay on that 20 car, but we'll check as we go up to speed, presented by Nationwide Insurance, and see what the teams all have to say. Let's start first, though, with the leader. Dave, what's Kyle Busch's crew talking about?
Allen looking for his 4th win of this season and increasing his points lead in this championship race in the Nationwide Series. Now, sometimes he just says, I'm a little loose or I'm a little tight, and they know what to do on the pit box. This time, a little more explanation. I need a little bit of something to help it turn without hurting the back. I want to turn the front without hurting the back. Jason Ratcliffe will go to work on that. Shannon?
Dave, we were talking a little bit earlier about the maturity that you've seen in Joey Logano in just 1 year. I spoke to Logano about his very first start here at Dover 1 year ago. He said, I had no idea what I was doing. Pretty good for not knowing what he was doing. He did finish 6th in that race. Coming into today, he said he had the best car. Right now, it's just a little loose. Jamie?
And behind him, Clint Boyer, his car slowly getting better. Just made the pass for 3rd position. Working for the first time with a new crew chief, Doug Randolph. Doug, of course, used to be a crew chief over here on the Nationwide side back in 2007. He said he was on the Cup side trying to get to know the lingo of Clint Boyer. He said he doesn't quite have it down pat, but so far so good. Shannon?
Jamie, of course, the big story in the garage today has been the 88 car, or the garage this weekend has been with the 88 car, but the Cup car, his crew chief, Dale Jr., getting a new crew chief on his pit box starting next weekend in Pocono. And for Brad Keselowski, Tony Uri Jr., who of course is Dale Jr.'s former crew chief, will be crew chiefing for him on the Cup side in the 4 remaining races. Jamie?
And David Reagan in the 6 car, fastest Roush Fenway car on the track right now. Car has been pretty good. He said he just needs more grip under throttle. He says this is a testament to how even these Roush Fenway cars are. He has the same equipment now. He said we're all capable of winning. The car just not as good as it has been. Dave?
Jamie, yesterday in practice, Kevin Harvick had the fastest 1-lap time and one of the best average lap times of all the race cars. I asked Kevin right after practice, where are you beating everybody? He said off the corner. Never had a car that works that well off the corner. I can just put the gas right back down. That may be what's hurting him right now in that loose condition. It's gone too far that way. Shannon?
Dave, another solid run for Brian Vickers in this 32 car. He will hand the reins over to Bernie Lamar for the next 3 races. Brian Vickers, a former winner here at Dover, he says that the car has been pretty good this run. They had a little bit of handling problems earlier in the race, but right now this 32 car is good. And when you look at Carl Edwards, it's hard to believe he hasn't been to victory lane this season. He has 4 second-place finishes, but when you talk to the team, they say that they are very close. The car started off tight on this run for the 60 car, but right now Carl says it's starting to come to him. Dave?
Right behind Carl Edwards in the queue is the 98 of Paul Menard, his teammate. Paul has been in the top 10 all day long. Car just a little bit tight. He hasn't said a thing on the radio since the last stop. Matt Pucci, the crew chief, doing a good job keeping that car in the race, and Paul driving it. Behind him in the 99, Scott Speed started the day in the 40th position. I asked him just before the race, how are you going to go from the back to the front? Said my crew chief told me to just go get it. He said, look at Kyle Busch. He drives like crazy, and he's the best one out there. He's stalled a little bit right now, but if you model yourself after Kyle, that might be a good thing, Doc.
Thanks, guys. And back in 11th position, coming all the way from 21st starting spot. First time this young kid's ever been to this racetrack. Justin Allgaier, the impressive rookie driving for Roger Penske, being shown in 11th position. Back in 12th position, the 27 car of Jason Keller.
Yeah, Jason doing a great job. This is one of his favorite racetracks. He really enjoys this concrete surface. Doing a fantastic job today, sitting in 12th.
And right behind him is Scott Wimmer. He's my sleeper today and doing a good job. His last win came in one of the Richard Childress cars in the 29, but he's looking good. He loves the concrete. That was his last win, I think, was Nashville, Tennessee on the concrete.
How about the rookie driver Brendan Gaughan coming off his career best finish last Saturday night at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Finished second there, leading the Rookie of the Year point standings.
Yeah, Jason Leffler just made a pass on Brendan Gaughan there to get his car, and going forward, doing a great job today. Had to start at the back of the pack.
Behind him, he's got the 47 car of Michael McDowell. Got a different sponsor on there, ConstructionJobs.com. Beautiful orange paint job. He's doing a good job today, and he's been one of the surprises this year in that Toyota. Got a wreck over here in turn 3, guys.
Out, 1 in the wall, turn 3.
That is the 5 car. Ryan Newman again having trouble. He already had a damaged race car, and now it's heavily damaged.
Andy, that goes back to just what you talk about. You having one of these cars crashed and maybe have something rubbed in the that you really haven't gotten fixed.
Yeah, and that's the bad thing about this racetrack, and I've always been very gun shy of that. When you do have a damaged car, there's Chrissy Newman, Ryan's wife, looks like they're done for the day.
Ryan, the first of 4 events, he will drive the 5 car here, and not the way he wanted to begin the year, driving for Rick Hendrick and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
There's a piece of the tire. Looks like it came apart maybe from a tire rub.
Oh, yeah. Ouch. There's not a good place for that to happen, but that's the absolute worst.
There's a crash over there in turn 3. That's us.
Just glad Ryan Newman's okay from that hit.
6th caution flag of the day, and Ryan Newman will head to the garage area. And everyone is in their fuel window, so we should see everyone, all the leaders, being able to make their way onto pit road for what could be the final pit stop of the day.
And we saw Clint Boyer. He was making his way up to the 2nd spot there, getting some pressure or putting some pressure on Joey Logano. He is going to make a pit stop. His pit stall is the very first pit coming in. It's actually the last pit stall on pit road. So he's got maybe a little disadvantage as far as a pit pick, but we'll see what they can do right here on pit road.
I don't know. Of course, there used to not be a 43rd spot, so that's great. But there's a lot of room there. They can get in without having to follow the other guys down. They can get to their spot and then get out.
Following the pace car, they're slowing down to 35 miles an hour. So let's go down for what could be the money stop. Our Toyo Tires triple pits, starting with Jamie Little.
And I'll tell you, it's quite a run to come all the way down here to Clint Boyer's pit box at the very end, as Andy was saying. He said the car is good, leave it alone. He wants Sunoco fuel and 4 tires for the 29. Dave?
Jamie, the adjustment you won't see on the 18 car is the air pressure they're putting back into the right rear tire. That was something they took out earlier. Kyle said, I'd like that back. Let's not make a wedge adjustment or anything. Just put that air back. That'll help that turn that I've been looking for. Shannon?
Dave, Joey Logano pulling his car in right now. Is still a little bit tight. They do have a little bit of left front fender damage. You'll see the extra guy go over the wall to pull that out a little bit. It's going to be 4 tires. They're going to make a wedge and air pressure adjustment for this 20 car.
Fender on both sides, top and bottom.
Left side tire still going on the 20 car. There goes the 18 and the 29.
It's like Boyer got him at the end there.
Boyer will gain 2 positions all the way from the other end of pit road. Great job by the 29 crew. Logano loses a spot. David Reagan up 1. And Brad Keselowski back to 5th position. The race-off was very tight for 2nd place. Was it Logano or was it the 29 car? No, it was the 29 of Boyer, then Logano. Back with the green flag after this message and a word from our ABC station. Thursday, Jimmy's jumping into prime time with all new NBA final specials. Superstars will join him with Will Ferrell, Denzel Washington. Kimmel live game night starting Thursday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central after game 1 of the NBA Finals on ABC. We are under caution now for the 6th time today. A very, very wild ride for the 5 car of Ryan Newman. Let's ride along.
Do you have to? Man.
And Shannon has caught up with him.
Tough day for Ryan Newman, Doc. Can you just walk me through your day on the track?
Well, I made my own mistake with the Fastenal Chevrolet and sped down pit road, and that got us back in the back. And I'm not sure what happened with the 66, why he checked up going into 1, but I just had to avoid him. And when I did, it spun the car up and knocked the body off of it. And we were loose that entire run after that, just trying to hold on and finish the race. But we exploded the right rear tire down the back straightaway, and the walls here are still not soft. They still hurt, but got to thank everybody at Junior Motorsports for the opportunity and Fastenal for being on board, and I look forward to racing some more. We just, I got us in a hole and we never got back out.
Ryan, I've been in your pit box and I've seen some right rear tire cording pretty much all day. Do you think this is something that's going to carry over to tomorrow's Cup race?
It's the same tire to my knowledge, so I don't think it can get any better. You know, the track's got 43 cars on it, you know, laying rubber, so we'll have to see what tomorrow's like, but I wouldn't say it's going to be tire problem free.
All right, Ryan Newman, this was his 3rd start at Dover, guys. This was a great track for him. Doc?
Scheduled to start 11th tomorrow in his U.S. Army Chevrolet. Tough day for Ryan Newman here. The first of 4 races he will drive the 5 car. He'll also be in it at Chicago, Bristol, and Kansas City.
Yeah, one reason this is an extended caution period, they're just blowing this track to make sure they get all the debris off just so we don't have another cut down tire.
Yeah, and to go back to what Ryan's talking about for tomorrow, of course, as we know, those cars are harder on the right side tires. Goodyear has a very tough time with this racetrack. This is a very abrasive concrete surface, and to try to get something that's not so hard that the guys are just sliding around that they can be aggressive and race with, then they take that chance of wearing it out. And rubber just doesn't seem, this track just not taking the rubber the last couple of years for some reason, and then we're seeing excessive tire wear.
Kyle Busch is our leader. He has led twice for 45 laps today. Now, he has officially gone over 1,000 laps led for the 2009 season. Kyle has 3 wins, California, Texas, and Richmond. He won this race last fall from the pole. And, of course, he had to pass his teammate Joey Logano, who was the pole sitter, to assume the lead here with 65 to go. Let's check in on the 18 pits. Dave.
With Jason Ratcliffe, and you know, this reminds me a little bit of Nashville when an 18 and a 20 car earlier this year fought it out. You didn't prevail that day. Do you have a leg up on Rogers and the boys so far?
It's going to be whichever guy gets off pit road first, it looks like, which my guy's been doing a great job today on pit road. Had a couple of miscues on the first 2, but good one on that one. Food Line Toyota's been good. We've had to work on it pretty hard. These guys, they've been swapping tires around, air pressures. We've been throwing a lot at it. Kyle's done a good job to keep it up front, and went a little too far on that last adjustment. Went about halfway back right here, so we'll see what we got.
All right, thanks, Jason. His guy continues to lead the Joe Gibbs parade up front, Doc.
Thank you, Dave. Now you can have your questions answered by our analysts with our Verizon Wireless mailbag. You can text your question to 8610 from your Verizon Wireless phone. Standard texting rates apply, or go online to ESPN.com to submit your question. Now, today's question comes from Steve in Orlando, Florida, for Dale Jarrett. Dale, what do you know about the NASCAR meeting this week? I heard about the meeting taking place, but nothing about what actually happened.
Well, I talked with a lot of the drivers that were there and participated in this, and each and every one of them said it was the best meeting they can ever remember having with NASCAR. Now, this only happens every few years, basically, to where get together as a group, but everybody felt very positive. They covered a lot of different areas. They talked about the drug policy. I think all of them felt much better going out of there, knowing more about the exact way that things were being handled by NASCAR in that situation. They talked a lot about the car, especially the car that they run in the Sprint Cup Series, and what they could do to make that better, make the racing better, make the cars more drivable. Just a lot of different things were discussed, how they could better make our sport better for the fans. That was really the focus of the whole thing, was to get that. So it was a very positive meeting. Double file restarts, that was something that was discussed quite a bit, and I think that's something we'll see very soon. So everybody came away with a good feeling that there's probably going to be some changes to the car in the near future. Exactly what that'll be, we're not exactly sure, but they're doing everything they can to make the racing better for the fans.
And to sum it up, it was a win-win for everybody involved, for the NASCAR officials to be able to talk to the drivers and owners and vice versa. And you mentioned the double file restarts, Andy. A lot of discussion today from one of NASCAR's vice presidents, Jim Hunter. That may be coming very soon.
Oh, we're going to see that. That's something we saw in the All-Star race at Lowe's Motor Speedway that really did work well. I mean, it made for a lot of exciting racing, and I can't wait to see it. We're going to line them up double file here, but you see the lap cars on the inside. See a lot of dust in the air. That's from the blowers and all the speedy dry they put on the racetrack.
We were talking about tire wear just a little bit ago, and there are some of the tires that came off the 20 car, and boy, there the cord showing.
Yeah, that's what they say when you say they're cording the right rear. They're showing that cord on that outside shoulder. The good news is that shoulder is very thick. It has a lot of cords there to wear away, but you just, don't want to be running without having rubber right there.
Yeah, we're seeing this happen on both right front and right rear. It seemed to be in practice a little more prevalent on the right rear, but we're seeing both of them today.
I would have expected that to get better by now, but here we go, Green. We've got 63 laps to go.
This is as close as Clint Boyer has been to the front all day long. Now can he do something with the 18 car? But Kyle Busch pulling away.
He didn't get a very good start at it right there. I don't know what happened on that start, but he lost a lot of ground. And Greg Biffle slotted in there. He's 5 laps down.
Taking Clint Boyer a little while to get his June bug on a string wound up there, but he's finally starting to come up to speed. But now these, on the inside is Logano.
Yeah, he's probably going to give this spot up to Logano. It looks like the 29 car's been better as they run a few laps. Not been very good, but he didn't get a very good start right off the bat.
You can see both those cars sliding a lot as they came out of turn 2. David Reagan right there, ready to take advantage.
There's Kozlowski looking on the high side of Reagan for position. That's for 4th spot.
Yeah, here goes Logano looking to the outside, but that opens the door for, oh, we got trouble here, Greg Biffle.
Yeah, that kind of bottled everybody up right there. Biffle's been in the wall again.
And we stay green. No caution thus far. Biffle trying to get that car to the inside of the racetrack.
3 more, then I'll get you down. Clear low. It's tore up pretty good right here, Eddie. Clear low. Don't bust a tire here, buddy. Here, guys, got a bad right rear tire rub.
In fact, that was a break for Boyer because he was just getting ready to lose that spot. He still may lose it, but gave him a little bit of a break.
You see Kevin Harvick back in the mix here. Looked like they might have worked on that 33 car. Give him a chance to go up here and try to get as many spots as he can. I was going to say win the race, but right now Kyle Busch is gone.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick had been so loose he couldn't drive it. That pit stop certainly helping him a lot as he's challenging on the inside of Reagan for 5th spot.
And Logano tried to, he got Clint Boyer loose coming up out of the corner. Now you see Boyer back out and let Logano go. Andy Petrie, he heard him say that his car's better on a longer run, so he's going to wait for that longer run to come around.
Might as well wait. Don't get tore up here. You may have to give up this spot here, too, to the 88 car. Now, looks like the 66 of Stephen Wallace is having problems.
Yeah, he's bounced it off the wall again, had some damage on the right side. He will head back to pit road.
That's a shame. He was having such a good day till he got that left rear tire cut, and that kind of started creating more problems for him. We see David Reagan here on the outside trying to hold off Kevin Harvick. That's for the 5th spot.
Brian Vickers there. Whoa, and Reagan goes around.
And Harvick collects him. That will bring out the caution seat
hold the brake
pieces.
there, hold the brake. What you got?
Heavy damage on the 6th car for
I don't
Reagan.
know if he touched me or if I just got super loose, but
just hard racing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure David Reagan didn't get the left front down on the apron on the entrance to turn 3, and that's what really got his car loose. Sure we'll be able to see on a replay here. He could have just gotten loose with the car right behind him. You know, it was just before last week's race at Charlotte that Kevin Harvick was, his team was leading the owner's points. They had a bad race there, and now another bad finish here today.
This is a big blow to them in the owner's point standings. They are now being shown 4th, 143 points back of the 18 car. Here again, what happened going down the backstretch, entering turn 3.
See, Reagan gets down in. Now he just gets loose. Well, he does.
He was pretty loose getting there.
He was loose getting there. That's why he was on the apron, because it was loose to that point.
Seems like after these guys make that last pit stop, they know they've got to start getting it done, and intensity level comes up a little bit.
Yeah, that and these guys that have been pushing have freed their cars up some. They've got still low air pressure, even though we've run a few laps here. The air pressure's still down.
A lot of damage to Harvick's car. And this is what they got to be careful of. Right here, they've just got to get this car fixed right before they send Kevin out, because they don't want to have a problem, just like we saw Ryan Newman out there with a damaged car, blows a tire, gets in the wall. Now, these guys are very valuable to their Cup race teams, and they don't want to get out there and risk these drivers, especially after you've already had a bad day.
Yes.
This was the car that Kevin Harvick won with at Bristol, Tennessee back in the spring, getting his first win in his own car.
They need to spend a lot of time getting this right front fender cleared away completely before they let him go back green. Comes Stephen Wallace to the garage area.
His damaged Chevrolet after the cut tire and in contact. The 66 car, by the way, would have been the free pass winner. He would have gotten the lucky dog, but because he's pulled to the garage area, there will be no lucky dog under this caution flag.
There's actually no cars that are 1 lap down. The cars that are 2 laps down now will start getting that free pass and at least getting one of their laps back. Yeah, back here in the garage.
David Reagan, the Talladega winner, running in the top 5 all afternoon here, but now contact, he spins, I should say has contact with the wall and collects the 33 car under caution. You're watching ESPN on ABC.
A lot more motorsports coverage on the ESPN networks coming up over the weekend. The NHRA Dragsters are in Topeka, Kansas, qualifying tonight, and the finals tomorrow, both on ESPN2. The NASCAR Now, presented by 5 Hour Energy, Dover pre-race show. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Following up on the Indy 500, the Indy cars are at the Milwaukee Mile. Tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. And after the checkered flag waves today, this nationwide series goes prime time in Nashville. Next Saturday night, 7 Eastern, our coverage presented by Pennzoil on ESPN2. We are under the 7th caution of the day when 5th place running David Reagan went spinning into the wall in turn 3. He's in the garage and Jamie's there.
Well, he had his best start of the year, 2nd, and he was running pretty well there for a while. David, what happened with you in the 33?
I don't know. I'll have to see a replay. I just drove in and got really loose. I don't know if he touched us a little bit. We were racing pretty close, and our discount tire Ford was fast today. It had a lot of speed. We were making small adjustments on it, trying to just trying to get ready for the last 50 laps, and just drove in. Looks like I got really free, and the 33 didn't have anywhere to go, and certainly hate to collect other guys out there on the racetrack on a mistake on my behalf. But real proud of our team. We had a good run today, and we'll just have to wait and get them next time.
Been a good run for David Reagan. He will be out of the car the next 3 weeks as Eric Darnell will take over the 6th car. Alan?
Okay, Jamie, and with Brad in the pit studio, NASCAR tracking 2 sets of points, the Drivers' Championship and the Owners' Championship. We talked about Kevin Harvick in the 33. David Reagan, Jack Roush, and the Roush Fenway team also competing for that championship. And those points are going to take a little shuffle with the results of this one.
Yeah, really are. Kevin and Delana Harvick had, were having an outstanding season, really closing in on that 3rd place mark. But that's a hard hit for everyone, and you never see someone like as talented as a David Reagan just let the car get out from under him. It just shows you how difficult and how aware you have to be at all times at this racetrack.
We're talking about going to Nashville next week. Last time the Nationwide Series was in Nashville was earlier this season. And the Joe Gibbs Racing teammates that are running 1-2 here in Dover finished 1-2 at Nashville. Back and forth they went. The winning pass was the youngster, though, on his slightly more experienced teammate.
Yeah, he made an incredible pass, and he held the car down really low, very fast, just like he is today. Same 2 guys up battling it out. Will we see the same result?
Joey Logano edging Kyle Busch on that day, though Kyle is the leader now. Talking about Nashville, it is next Saturday night on ESPN2. Our coverage presented by Pennzoil at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Carl Edwards leading all drivers with 3 wins at Nashville. And, of course, this begins the summer separation stretch.
Yeah.
Normally, the Nationwide Series and the Sprint Cup Series runs at the same racetrack on the same weekend. For the next 3 weeks, different places on those weekends, and that's the first of them at Nashville next weekend. Restart with 50 to go, Doc. Let's see what happens.
Should get exciting. By the way, Logano will not be in the 20 car next week at Nashville. Brad Coleman takes over, so how excited should he be to get in that 20 car, which has been so good all year long? The 18 car, Kyle Busch, trying to hold on to get his 4th win of 2009. And folks, this would be Kyle Busch's 30th victory in major NASCAR racing since the beginning of last year.
A lot of wins. Yes, it is. And just as we've seen, he's really good on these restarts. He's already stretched it out to about 5 car lengths.
I mean, he's won so many of them, but also had some really bad luck the last few weeks and should have won more.
Yeah, Kyle has led the most laps the last 4 races in a row and only won 1 of those 4. That was at Richmond. Brad Keselowski now back in 3rd spot. We mentioned he finished 3rd a year ago here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Has never finished out of the top 10, driving the 88 car here for Junior Motorsports.
Yeah, these guys aren't letting Kyle Busch get too far away right here. You see Logano up there in 2nd, just ahead of Brad Keselowski, who's running 3rd right here. Both these cars look really good right now. They've actually pulled back up a little bit to Kyle Busch. Brad's had a great day. Shannon?
The car's just been a little bit loose for Brad Keselowski all day, but right now it's hooked up under that last caution. He was asking his crew chief, Top Series Senior, what he needed to do to get up to the 18. His crew chief said the 18 is better on the short runs, slower on the long runs, but of course Brad said that's after he's already a 2nd ahead, so he knows he has to get a good start right here.
Yeah, that's the key. Don't let these guys, if you've got a car that's good in a long run, you really got to focus on these first few laps of these runs so you don't have so much ground to make up.
12th position, the 38 car, Jason Leffler, continuing to move toward another top 10 finish. See if he can get a couple more spots. He goes by the rookie Brendan Goff.
Really nice day for Jason Leffler, coming from the back We can see that 81 car there dipping to the inside. Bobby Hamilton Jr. His first start with this team. He's doing a great job.
He's making the most out of this start now. He's been sitting home watching these races on TV, and I bet he's wanting to get out here and mix it up with these guys.
Bobby, a co-owner of the 24 car. I mean, the Renzi Hamilton Racing, but haven't been able to get in a seat until finally given a chance to drive the McDonald Motorsports Dodge.
Yeah, and I don't think we've ever questioned Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s talent to be able to drive a race car. He just found himself in some difficult situations, but when he was in really good cars, man, he was racing for championships.
Now here's Michael Annette now under attack from Mike Bliss, last week's winner. And he's having a tough day, Mike Bliss is. Not the kind of day I expected this one car to have. They usually have a great car here at Dover, but it's been a struggle for him today.
Michael Annette, the rookie, running in 15, a 20th spot. He will lose that position now to Bliss.
And Bliss is staying down on the bottom.
Just like you said.
That's what he's committed to that. And it really hasn't shown that the middle or top groove is any faster, and that's where Mike has his car and where he's comfortable in running it. He just wants to get it a little tighter as we get off the corner.
So it is Kyle Busch, Logano, Keselowski, Boyer, and Vickers, the top 5. And then Carl Edwards, Paul Menard running in 7th spot.
Oh, trouble on the front stretch.
Oh, that was a hard lick right there for Lagasse, and he's going to hit again. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he got turned from the right rear coming out of turn 4 down the front stretch.
Those are some extremely hard hits. It's good to see this winning net now coming down. That's a sign that they're told to give if they're okay.
And remember, the safer barrier, the soft wall, wasn't here the last race. They just put that in.
Don't get out of that thing.
Man, that was a hard lick.
I don't know if
a lot of hard licks.
For those that watched the countdown show, we heard Scott Lagasse say he loved to race here. Had kind of a love-hate relationship with this. He loved racing here, but he's had some really horrible luck, and that continued today.
He's going to leave here hating it, I'll tell you that. That had to hurt right there.
I'm not sure who the car was that was on his right rear quarter.
Spotters saying the 47 involves it. We can see what happened between Lagasse and McDowell.
Yeah, that's hard to call there. It's just,
yeah,
wasn't quite. Oh, man,
that's a hard hit right there.
And then another one.
Yeah, really good to see Scott out and walking away.
Part of this very impressive rookie class here in 2009 again. Back in 21st.
These guys are just racing hard. That's really hard to place blame on that. It just wasn't quite clear. Looked like maybe the 47 did come down a little bit.
Yeah, just one of those other things that makes racing here so difficult. You're in such a strain coming up out of the corner.
Man, it's a big angle right there.
On the outside barrier again, that in turn 1. Under caution now for the 8th time today. We told you that they nicknamed this place the Monster Mile almost 40 years ago because it can just grind up race cars in a moment's notice. Scott Lagasse, the latest victim. Back in just a moment.
ESPN's coverage of the NASCAR Nationwide Series on ABC. Brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, official auto insurance partner of NASCAR. Toyo Tires. Toyo Tires are driven to perform. And Verizon Wireless. Get your head in the game right on your phone with sports clips, scores, stats, news, and more. Only on VCast from America's most entertaining network, Verizon Wireless.
Here they come out of turn 4 for the green flag.
3 wide. You're in the middle. You're in the middle. Man, slowed up, slowed up, slowed up, slowed up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Good job, good job. Hell of a job. Hang on, hang on, hang on.
Here you go. You got Kyle Busch on the outside. He might have him this time.
There's a crash over there in turn 3. That's us.
Looks like they're done for the day.
The Monster Mile has been mean today. This place doesn't care if you're a veteran like Ryan Newman or a rookie like Scott Lagasse. It can take you out in a hurry. And kudos to the folks here for putting that safer barrier up down on the inside pit wall. That is one of the new improvements there, and that's exactly where Scott Lagasse hit at over 135 miles per hour. Other safety maneuvers and the things we use in the car, well, for more on those, let's go down to our Craftsman Tech Garage and Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Jerry. The soft walls were a big contributing factor to saving a young man, but still yet, the way they affixed the head restraint system, the Hans device, it actually goes over the driver's shoulders, but it's attached right here to the side. It doesn't let the head exceed the expectations of, heavy damage to the neck and spine area. And one of these Hans devices that come around after the death of Dale Earnhardt down at Daytona, and this thing has saved a lot of guys.
Tim, you're exactly right. That Hans device being able to keep the helmet and neck in position together as they move forward.
That's the key thing, is just try to keep everything from getting out of place. I mean, they've got some other head supports inside the car. That Hans device has been a huge help, but boy, look at this right here. You see how that safer barrier gives? That takes a lot of energy out that the driver does not have to experience.
Yeah, that safer barriers are great, but I'll go back to that Hans device in a situation like that where you're going two different
Goes to NASCAR. So many innovations for safety over the years, and although these aren't the new cars like the CO2 they run in the Cup, a lot of the technology in that new car that they run in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is being used inside these nationwide cars.
Yeah, the structure of the car itself is a little different, but all of the things that you see, I mean, as far as the head restraints and supports inside the cars, these new carbon seats, you see a lot of that in these cars, in these nationwide cars. Even some of the foam that they put in the doors, that's an option that these guys can use in the sides of these nationwide series cars as well. That's a carbon seat in Justin Allgaier's car. You see all that head support, all that stuff right there is just so much better than what it used to be. I mean, this stuff right here, when you hit, it doesn't move over. It stays right in position, and your head is not allowed to move over with it.
Yeah, those carbon seats Hendrick Motorsports requires them to do that. Mark Martin had never used one of those till he went to Hendrick Motorsports. I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying that. And he went over to get fitted for that when he was going to Hendrick Motorsports just to see what that was like. But that shows just how safe they are. They require their drivers to use that.
I saw Tony Stewart's actually running one too. That was one that kind of surprised me. He's one of the old school guys, but he is also sitting in a carbon seat. This is one of the aluminum seats Carl Edwards is sitting in here. And these seats are very safe too. They've got a lot of the same features as the carbon seats. They're very well reinforced. You see how they're attached to the chassis of the car. All this stuff is just as strong as, or almost as strong as that carbon stuff. Jamie?
And Scott Lagasse Jr. says he's okay. He actually had a smile on his face, but what a hard hit. What happened?
That's a smile of frustration. Definitely wasn't a good day for us. We started off a little bit rough, and following the guys did a good job on pit road, keeping us out there, and while we could work on it. And we were going to make a decent day out of it. I don't know, just got hit in the right rear.
He's going for Rookie of the Year, guys. That's going to put a dent in the program the last 2 weeks. Doc?
A lot of frustration for Scott Lagasse, but the good news is that because of all the safety things we were just talking about, he's able to walk out and smile and talk to us about what happened.
And be racing next week.
Yeah. Before we go back to green, we talked about nobody pitted. We did have a few cars on the lead lap from 12th on back, starting with Brian Keselowski, but Jason Leffler, Jason Keller, Brendan Gaughan, Bobby Hamilton Jr., they all came in and made some adjustments and got some tires.
35 laps to go. It is the Joe Gibbs show up front right now. They've won 3 in a row here. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, 1-2. Brad Keselowski 3rd. Clint Bowyer 4th, and Brian Vickers is 5th.
Getting on with it now. 34 laps to go.
Yeah, really be interested as we watch these guys up front. But Jason Leffler had a good race car, and he's got the freshest tires out there of the faster cars that pitted.
We are showing 18 cars on the lead lap. Kevin Harvick, the last car on the lead lap. There's Leffler, the 38 car, left side of your screen, the one you're talking about, DJ. On the strength of 6 consecutive top 10 finishes and 2 second-place finishes, he has moved to 3rd in the point standings.
Yeah, the time's running out for Jason. There's only 33 laps to go, and it's a lot of cars to pass. Even though he's got fresher tires, it's going to be hard to make up a lot of spots here.
More on the 38, Dave.
It was a good move. They only gave up 1 position making that stop. No chassis adjustment, 4 fresh tires. And this is the guy that called his car about 60 laps ago junk. They've worked on it, taped up the front end, and he thought it was pretty good with 4 fresh tires. Maybe he can get a few spots here at the end.
I just noticed him driving it sideways off the corner there coming out of turn 4 a minute ago, so he's hoping that air pressure is going to come up pretty quick for him.
Started at the back of the pack because of adjustments after the impound, so he's had to come all the way from the back. He drove in the top 20 in the first 35 laps, now being shown in 12th position with 31 laps to go.
Here comes Justin Allgaier racing inside of Scott Wimmer.
That's our two.
Comes out on top. My man's got some work to do.
That beat for ninth spot.
Yeah, Justin's doing a great job here.
There comes last week's winner, Mike Bliss, into the picture again, now back in the 11th spot.
They finally got this one car woke up just a little bit now.
Yeah. He's been struggling off the corner all day, and you can see Scott Wimmer struggling a little bit off the corner, too. Looks like his car's gotten a little bit loose.
And one thing, you see some shadows. They're starting to get longer, and the track could be cooling down just a little bit and coming around to Mike Bliss. Good shot here on the in car, and you can see just maybe what his car is doing by what he's doing with the steering wheel. Doesn't look like he's fighting a loose condition right now. They're pretty smooth.
Pretty smooth right there.
And Scott Wimmer holding him off. So give a call to Scott and that whole Curtis Key Motorsports team, Gary Showalter and company. Their best run of the year thus far.
Having a great run so far.
Bliss trying to go downstairs and can't get enough oomph up off the corner. And nearly gets tagged from behind. Here comes Leffler on the bottom of the racetrack.
Man, they were looking at 3 wide getting into the corner. They can't do that here.
You can. It usually doesn't turn out too good.
Yeah, I guess you can. I wouldn't recommend it. At least don't try it at home.
You can see just how difficult a time Mike Bliss is having down on the bottom, getting himself clear to Scott Wimmer. He's still not made the pass complete yet.
9th, 10th, and 11th on your screen, and now Leffler saying, get on by him so I can get by and get a shot. There you go.
Guys, I got fresh tires and laps to run out.
Keep digging. Put it all around.
See Jason driving down in and putting a slide job on him.
Yeah, he's done
that a time or two, hasn't
he? He knows how to do it.
Bit 25 laps to go. Can Kyle Busch hold on and pick up his 4th win of the year? How impressive has Kyle Busch been? Why is Kyle Busch so good? We'll tell you what we think when we come back in just a moment. We invite you to swing away with ESPN for 2 nights of Major League Baseball action. First at 8 Eastern on Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. The Los Angeles Dodgers take on the Chicago Cubs. Then catch Monday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern as Alex Rodriguez and the Yankees roll into Cleveland to take on the Indians. ESPN News will be shown in the New York market on Monday night. Major League Baseball on ESPN and ESPN 360 Sunday and Monday night. Laps clicking away here in Dover, Delaware. Kyle Busch has won 29 major races. We're talking about in the NASCAR Sprint Cup, NASCAR Nationwide Series, and NASCAR Camping World Truck Series since the beginning of last year, 2008. He has also led over 6,000 total laps entering today. And if you average it according to starts, he has led over 57 laps in every single race he has entered.
My goodness, hard to believe that's right. That is a lot of laps right there.
That's just, yeah, I don't know any other word, just impressive. I mean, he has a tremendous amount of talent. It's just amazing what he's able to do.
What is he doing? How does he do this?
I thought y'all were going to tell me. You said we were going to talk about how good Kyle Busch was. I thought I was going to learn something here today.
We were going to ask you that.
Oh, okay, yeah. He has tremendous car control. We watch him time after time. He's able to run his car a little bit freer or hung out a little bit more than the rest of the guys. And that's not saying, you know, everybody out here has a tremendous amount of talent, but this guy has it and uses it, and he's just simply amazing. And, you know, we can go back a lot of races talking about his car control. I can remember a few years ago when I was racing around him, just finding myself watching what he was able to do with his race car. Hang it out more, getting into the corner, and then just get back to the gas. He just drives the wheels off these things, and he does it in whatever he gets in. So we can talk about how good his equipment is, but he simply is just tremendous talent. And I don't know if you saw last week, if you were watching the race on Monday at Charlottesville, he's leading the race by a couple of seconds as we watch a battle here between Mike Bliss and Justin Allgaier. But Kyle Busch had his car completely sideways coming out of turn 4, leading the race by a couple of seconds, and he just drives every lap like it's the last one. And you know, I know a lot of fans get tired of us talking about how great Kyle Busch is, but whether you like him or don't like him, what he says, there's no possible way you can't say that he's not one of the best talents to ever come driving wise in this series or in any series that has come through NASCAR racing.
And when you've got somebody that can do the things that Kyle can do, like you said, hanging that car out at different places on the racetrack, it opens up things for the crew chief to do that he can do to the car to make it faster yet when he's got a driver that can do that.
And he's only 24 years old, folks, and he has 50 career NASCAR wins, which ties him for 11th all time with Ned Jarrett, Junior Johnson, and Greg Biffle. Pretty good company.
Yes, sir.
Here's the 29 car, Clint Boyer. We thought Clint was going to have something for those top two. Got all the way to second spot and then sort of slid back a little bit.
Yeah, this last set of tires after this last stop just have not agreed with his car. I don't know if they made an adjustment or what they did, but they're not quite as good as they were, Jamie.
No changes on that last pit stop, Andy. They just put 4 tires on it, but you know, it's getting hotter out here, so he's fallen back a bit. And actually, Doug Randolph, his crew chief, said, I would love to be able to pit one more time before this race is over. I'd like to pump up some right side tires for you. But guys, if it stays green, there's only 10 laps left, no chance.
Well, let's do a little what-ifing, guys. 10 laps to go. We've had 4 green-white checkers this year. What if we would get a caution here in the final 10 laps?
Well, you better say it quick because these things click off fast. But it would be hard for these front runners to make a pit stop if we had a caution right now. But now there will be some cars at the back half that will come in and get tires, and be interesting to see what would happen if it would happen that way.
Yeah, just what they're talking about. I talked to a number of drivers that talked about that all they did was change sets of tires. Their car was either pretty good or a little on the tight side. All they did was put on another set of tires in practice, and it went to the loose sideways. We see Paul Menard take that spot away from Scott Speed there, and that moves Paul Menard into the 7th spot here today.
It still looks like Speed working hard to try to get that spot back.
Scott Speed would tie his career best finish of 8th at Bristol early in the year. If he can make this pass, it will be his best finish, getting in the 7th spot.
Yeah, we're riding along with Justin Allgaier, who's moved himself up into the 9th spot, and Jason Leffler's moved into the 10th spot, so another top 10 run for him.
That would be 7 in a row, top 10 finishes, and 9 of the last 10 races for the 38 car of Jason Leffler.
One guy that's been quiet today, and that's Carl Edwards. We haven't seen him or talked about him much, and that's unusual in any of these Nationwide Series races. He's only running 6. Oh, Scott Wimmer's blowing a tire.
Hold it down.
Caution's coming out. Okay, guys.
Come on down. Come on down.
Now here's the caution we were talking about, the what if we mentioned a moment ago.
But here's the what if. There's only 7 laps to go now. There's going to be 6 laps to go when the leader gets to the line. Not going to have many laps to go here, so the leaders will stay out.
I can't see really anybody being able to pit, but this is the risk that they're going to take, because this is about the most laps we put on a set of tires, even though we've had some cautions in here, Andy.
This is the most laps they've put on them, and that's what's happened here. You know, this is why you got to be so careful not to abuse one tire or the other, because if you do, you can see what happens right here. Scott Wimmer does a great job not to hit the wall here, but he does have damage from the flat tire.
Yeah, man. He had 62 laps on these tires, and a good, very good run for Scott Wimmer goes away now with a cut tire on the right front.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of guys out there would love to come down pit road right now. But just 6 laps to go as they come by.
Yeah. Kyle Busch looked like he has things well in hand, but you know he had a nice little comfortable lead there. He was just going to cruise to the checkered flag. He did not want to see this because he knows anything can happen on these restarts.
And he's not been lucky lately.
No.
You know, at Darlington, he was leading the race under what was going to be a green-white checker and had a flat right front tire, had to come down pit road.
So if you can see Wimmer come by, and
see the tire blow right there. What great camera work, guys, man.
If you're going to have one to blow, though, that's not a bad spot, just as you're still on the straightaway. That allowed Scott Wimmer to kind of use a little bit of brake and not be barreling off down into the corner.
What a tough break for Scott Wimmer, the former winner here and was having a finish that could have put him in the top 10. He was running 11th at the time. Well, Kyle Busch has led the most laps the last 4 races in a row. Today would make it 5 in a row, but he's only won 1 of those races.
Green flag is out on the end of pit road, and so far, nobody taking it. Scott Wimmer's the only car there. He's trying to come in and get that damage fixed.
17 cars are on the lead lap. Brian Kozlowski, the last car on the lead lap. Let's check in with some crew chiefs to see what they're thinking. Shannon down in the 20 pit.
Well, down here with Dave Rogers, you definitely had the dominant car coming into the race. Do you guys have what it takes to get the 18 in these last few laps?
I don't know. We're real happy with our GameStop Toyota. I wish we had a few more laps. I think Kyle got into a lap car there, and I think he picked up a push. I think we could get him if we had more laps, but green, white checker, Kyle Busch leading, it'll be tough.
All right, guys, and watching those last few laps, Joey Logano was definitely catching the 18 team. Dave?
All right, with Jason Ratcliffe now. We just talked to Dave Rogers. He wants a few more laps. Do you want to give him some extra laps to try to win?
No, I need a few less. Go ask him if he'll give me a few less.
Yeah, we'll get right back to him on that. Your car has been quite good, although your driver's complaining a little bit now about tightness. You think he can hold off Joey and everybody else?
I think track position's a big deal here. You know, I'm hoping these tires will cool off. They've been coming back on every restart, so hopefully they'll cool off here and be good for at least, I think we'll probably have about 3 laps left in this thing. Kyle's doing an awesome job. We're too tight. I mean, we need to come in and make some adjustments on it, but with this many laps to go, tires are it's just not worth doing it. So we'll ride it out here. We got the best driver out here, and I believe he can do it.
And they got the best track position right now as well. Jamie?
And Doug Randolph for Clint Boyer. I know I heard you say you wanted to come in and take right side. You opted to stay out. Now that the tires have cooled down a bit, can you guys catch them?
Well, I really hope so. The Holiday Inn Chevrolet's been running really good today. We seem to be a whole lot better on long runs. This set of tires that we have on the car seems to be a lot freer than the other sets we've had today. So we're hoping everything will cool down, our car will tighten up, and we'll see. Obviously, some things might happen up front, and we're just trying to get in position and take advantage of it.
Well, his man, Clint Boyer, is a wheel man. He's won here before, Doc.
Well, anything can happen, as we've seen the last few races here of the year. Remember, we talked about Kyle Busch has led all these laps in the last 4 races, only won once, and in fact he had a near miss a moment ago with lap traffic. Trying to work his way through the pack. There's a 07 of Mike Harmon.
Yeah, got against the apron there, getting in the corner.
Yeah, you just like for those guys to let you know which way they're going or where. But it's been an adventure, and it is here because you catch a lot of these cars so quickly. They just don't have time to react.
DJ, you've had a lot of teammates over the years. I know you guys are friends as teammates, but when it comes down to the final laps and winning a race, I know Joey Logano is the junior member of the Joe Gibbs team, but would he put the nose of his Camry up against Kyle Busch to win a race?
I don't know if he's going to actually hit him. He might try to get as close again to see if he can loosen him up. But I think one thing that probably is entering Joey's mind right now, Kyle Busch has really helped him a lot with those cars in the Sprint Cup Series. How to drive them, the feel of the cars. And I think he probably has that on his mind. As much as he wants to win this race, he probably considers the partnership and friendship that they have there and what he's been able to draw from Kyle Busch a little more important than going out and knocking him out of the way. I think he'll do everything he can without putting either one of them at risk.
Now, Andy, if Brad Keselowski or Clint Boyer get there, look out.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Y'all were talking about those teammates. I know that Keselowski's hungry back there, and he's not worried about any of that. He wants to win.
Nothing hunts better than a hungry dog, and right now Brad Keselowski and Clint Boyer are hungry, and so is Carl Edwards, who has not won, amazingly, has not won a race in 2009. He has finished second 4 times.
Well, he's been able to hang out in 6th here, and that, he's not going to lose a lot of points in what's not one of his better days. So he's got Brian Vickers right in front of him. He'll try to take that 5th spot away.
All right, let's see if the monster is going to bite somebody else here in the final 3 laps. Can Kyle Busch hold him off? Here we go.
Logano gets a great start.
Yeah, he was ready for Kyle Busch right there.
He's against him right there. He got him. Here goes Keselowski for the lead.
The contact, Busch across the track, but he also gave away the lead. How about that?
Oh, trouble back there. Kyle Busch looked like he might have a tire down.
He's got something wrong now.
Push it and shove it. It'll be white flag next time by for Brad Keselowski.
The battle for second continues.
We did not expect this kind of finish right here, boys.
Second place. Here goes Boyer on the inside of Logano. Can he get him? Less than half a lap to go. We told you strange things happen at the Monster Mile, and what a finish here at Dover, Delaware. Brad Keselowski comes out of 4 and will pick up his first win in 2009.
Wow. That's how we roll. You got to put yourself in position, man, and you guys did it for me. I appreciate it.
Holy cow.
Oh, man.
Man, that was a finish.
And another disappointment for Kyle Busch, too. What a great day for Brad Keselowski.
I'm not sure Kyle Busch didn't have a problem getting in the corner on that restart.
Everybody.
Oh, listen to the crowd. Yeah, it looks like he's got a flat right front tire.
That would be the 5th race in a row that Kyle Busch has led the most laps. He has only won 1 of those 5. Hard to believe.
You see, he got a flat right front. I don't know if that happened after the fact here, or is that something he had going on before? But what a win for Keselowski and this team. They needed this real bad.
They made up some valuable points.
Yeah, they used up 2 cars at Charlotte.
Yeah, this was a car they had to bring out with no laps on it.
Said he didn't want to tear this one up. He was going to take care of it at Charlotte because he wanted to run it at Dover, and it sure did pay off for him. That was his brother, Brian.
Yeah.
This is their concrete cowboy, the car they won with at Bristol last August from 37th. The car they ran at Bristol, Tennessee, and ran here last fall and finished 3rd. And as you said, it was the 3rd car. It was the last one they had to run at Charlotte a week ago, and he logged a top 10 finish.
I believe I'd take care of this piece. Don't tear it up now.
Absolutely.
Man, that's cool, guys. I'm so happy for you guys.
They couldn't go around. This is Kyle Busch backing up to try to, you have to go into the garage area off of turn 3 now. He went around to turn 4 and was trying to get in and wasn't allowed to go there, so he's had to back up.
Well, let's listen into some very frustrated radio from the 18.
Sorry about that, dude. That's pathetic right there. Guys, keep your mouth shut. Just work on this race car. Keep your mouth shut about this.
Got to wonder what's going through Kyle Busch's mind right now. Was the tire going down? Was that before or after the slowdown in the contact took
Yeah, that's
place?
the big question, because Logano definitely got against the bumper, and I don't know if there was something wrong or what. You did hear from these guys, see what they say, but it's hard to tell whether he had a problem or not.
And with the frustrations have been mounting for Kyle Busch with all of this. Let's watch this restart.
So they both get going, and Logano gets a good start, stays right next to Kyle as they get to the corner.
Yeah,
hard to tell from that angle.
Well, he was right on him, and
I think he had a problem because you don't see any contact with the wall here. He did have a flat tire when the race was over on the right front.
But you get up in that into those marbles and get that all over your tire, you know, you can cut the tire then, and or you just get all of that all over your tire, and then he knew that there wasn't any reason to drive it hard from that point. Everybody had passed him that he was racing.
And like you said, Joey Logano has had so much help.
That's Dale Earnhardt Jr. congratulating his driver.
What a week it has been for Dale Jr. Be able to smile there and go get his car in victory lane. 3rd win for Brad Keselowski, first time ever at the Monster Mile. Brad Keselowski getting ready to climb out with his first win of 2009.
What a season it has been for Brad Keselowski. All right, you said you knew you needed to get in front of the 20 and the 18. Walk me through what happened when you saw that door open.
Well, I saw the 20 make a move there, and it looked like something happened to 18. I think he might have a flat tire. I'm not sure, but we caught a break. And as bad as the first half of our season was about not catching breaks, we finally caught a break. And this team deserves it. GoDaddy.com deserves this. I got to thank everyone, Bob Parsons, GoDaddy.com, because I missed the Cup show. I just flat out missed it. I felt terrible yesterday. I felt terrible for them, so I got to put them in victory lane. I hope they're happy about that. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate these guys' hard work and all these fans that came out here today with everything that's going on to make those sacrifices. I think they got one heck of a show.
One of your biggest supporters, Dale Earnhardt Jr., leaned in and said something to you before you got out of the car. What did he say?
Just, way to go. Way to go come through in tough times, because I think the whole group's going through some tough times, and this is some pretty good medicine for everyone.
And this is some very good medicine. All these 88 guys getting crazy in victory lane here today. Duck?
Third career victory. There is the co-owner, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who co-owns the car with Rick Hendrick, and the celebration. Pops Yuri there to the right. There's Pops with the white beard, goatee. 7th top 10 finish in the last 8 races for Brad Keselowski. This team has really come back. Let's go down and talk with Joey Logano. Dave.
Well, since he pulled up here in second place, he's heard a lot of voices in his ear. He's watched a replay. You've loudly kicked yourself a couple of times, Joey. What are your emotions right now?
I just screwed up. He's been kicking my butt every restart, and that was the one restart I had a good one at least, and I got up behind him, and I figured he was going to drive off into the corner harder. And like he's been killing me in the first corner every time, and he checked up early, and then as soon as he checked up, I was right on him, and I was going to try to get to the high side through that corner, and as soon as he checked up, I got in the back of him, and up the track he went. I mean, it's completely 100% my fault. I take total blame for it. I got to find him and apologize to him, but I don't know. I was thinking he was going to drive in harder in that, and he just didn't.
Was your restart that much better than yours had been earlier in the race?
Yeah, he had a different gear ratio in the transmissions to help his restarts. We were trying stuff, and yeah, it was better than me. And I think on old tires, he was just spinning his tires a lot, and it was the one restart we were old tires, and I was able to take off with them. So I don't know. We had a great GameStop Toyota, though. I mean, I tell you, it's a really good car. I mean, short runs we were really good. Longer runs we kind of lose it for a little bit. So, you guys did great. I just screwed up.
How do you repair this, Joey?
I'm about to find out.
Joey Logano finishes second today. Shannon.
Well, down here with team owner Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale, I know it's been a long week for you guys on the Cup side. What does it mean to start your official weekend here on a Saturday with the win in victory lane?
Well, that was some tough luck by the Give guys there. They had everybody covered all day, and we just were able to be in the position to capitalize on what happened. And Brad drove a smart race, and he had an awesome car. GoDaddy Chevrolet was running good all weekend. Tony Senior did a good job, and our Hendrick motors were performing good all weekend for both cars. So we're real happy. It's great for our team. We needed a win. We needed some momentum and get confidence back in the team, and the guys are really pumped up. They'll enjoy this one.
Congratulations. Good luck tomorrow. Doc?
Celebration in victory lane for the 88 team and Dale Earnhardt Jr., and absolutely nothing but total frustration for one driver who had led the most laps, 108 laps for Kyle Busch today. 5th consecutive race that Kyle had led the most laps, and wow, did not go to victory lane, and it was just 2 laps away.
Tough break, but I swear it looked to me like he had some kind of problem, and I'm not sure. Joey's as confused as we are. He didn't really know what happened either.
Yeah, and Kyle, I mean, it is very frustrating. I mean, look how many times he's had a chance to win here, and let's not say that he's doing the wrong thing here by declining to talk to us, because that is very frustrating. And you get in these situations, I can assure you, sometimes you say the wrong thing, and it's better at these times not to say anything and just let it go, and he and Joey will talk.
And he's got another race to run here. They're going to run the truck race right after this one.
Let's go down and where Dave is caught up with Carl Edwards.
And he's been debriefing with crew chief Dan Stillman on a day that was not as stellar as it could have been at the front of the field. Carl, what were you going through in that 60 car today?
Just going through some vitamin water, that's for sure. It's hot. But we took that Ortho Fusion and we thought it was going to be really good. The track conditions are a little different, but there's really no excuse. We just got to be faster. I was just telling Dan, with that balance and the car feeling that way, we've won races here. So, Dan and Mike Tam are going to go back and work on the thing this week, and that's what we need. it's hard watching that 18 and 20 and those guys just check out and beat us. So we just got to do our work. They're doing theirs.
This is a team that's going to go to hard work as Carl continues to fight for that championship with that 18 car. Doc?
Carl Edwards, a top 5 finish, and now finds himself 40 points behind the 18 car in the NASCAR Nationwide Series standings. Well, how could you not love what you just saw? NASCAR Nationwide action. You want a ticket to the race? We're in Music City, USA next Saturday night. Nashville Super Speedway, then Kentucky, the Milwaukee Mile. You can read there. We go back to Daytona on July 3rd for our nation's birthday celebration. If you'd like tickets, www.nascar.com/tickets. A great day, typical Monster Mile finish in Dover, Delaware, and wow, once again, Kyle Busch dominates but ends up disappointed.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of guys have problems. This track did exactly what we've seen in the past. It took its toll on drivers and cars.
And here's a feel-good race for Brad Keselowski and Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team. They needed it.
Well, 4 weeks ago, Brad Keselowski led only 500 feet to get his first ever NASCAR Sprint Cup victory at Talladega. Today, Alan, he led the final 2 laps, and that's all, but he's in victory lane here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Dover.
Yeah, Doc, second week in a row, Kyle Busch dominated, and somebody else took the trophy home, and you could see the frustration on that man's face. It's the old wide world of sports saying the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
Yeah, he
You're
really
seeing
wants
it right now.
Well, he wants to lead laps and win races, absolutely. But Joey Logano, hey, what about a good hard driving by Joey? And he was at fault, but it wasn't a vicious mistake. He just was driving that race car as hard as he possibly could and had a problem.
So Brad Keselowski celebrating with the Monster Trophy in victory lane. Couple of notes here. Wednesday on ABC, an all-new Wipeout at 8/7 Central, followed by the Good Family, all new at 9/8 Central. And don't forget, tomorrow, more racing on ABC. The IndyCar Series heads to the Milwaukee Mile, where Indy 500 winner Helio Castroneves tries to win 2 in a row. That's at 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Thanks for watching ESPN on ABC. Brad Keselowski is your winner at the Monster Mile today in Dover. The Joe Gibbs Racing team led 195 of the 200 laps. The Monster consumed its share of race cars on the day. But in the end, a restart with 2 laps to go was the deciding moment. Something may or may not have happened to the 18 car. We know the 20 car got into the back and pushed the 18 up the track, and Brad Keselowski went through for the win, leading only the final 2 laps.